Was I muted? Have I been muted this whole time? Was I muted? Have I been talking oh, okay. Have I been talking? I'm like, why is no one was replying? I'm like, how rude. How rude. Unbelievable. How rude. I am audible now, I think, though. I should be audible. You should be able to hear me. I was talking about how we need to throw out the entire computer. Everything broke. Everything broke at a time when it should not broke. It all broke. It broke. Throw out the entire computer. You're the audiobook platform Audible? Subscribe now to get, I forget what it is. That's more of a video essay thing, really. No more computer. Everyone meets in person at the community center next week. Well, I mean, I didn't say it had to be this computer. We can still be on the internet, but we'll just be on a different computer. That's fine. That's allowed. That's allowed. Hold on. Let me put on different music. Non-plink-plonk music. My headphones disconnected again! Everything stopped working! Everything! Connected to voice and music. No, it's not. No, nuh-uh. Ah, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Eggy, drink water. Hold on, hold on. Let me make sure my computer works before I do anything else. Before I do anything else, can we please just make sure the computer works? Can we at least make sure of that much? See, this is what I'm saying. Are you guys sure you want my weird floaty bun? Because, like, this bun was not rigged to go with this outfit. This bun was rigged to go with, this. So it looks normal. It looks normal when I'm wearing this. But when I wear it with this, my hair is floating. It's floating! That's not what it's supposed to do! It's not supposed to do that! This happened by mistake! Let me put my hair back down. Okay. There we go. French phrase. Mon ordinateur ne fonctionne pas très bien. There it is. Eggy, drink water? Okay, hold on. So many demands. Water the eggplants? Okay, Do the demands of the eggplants never end? They are unending. Well, I can probably turn the BGM up a little. There we go. Bonk the eggplants. Do I even have the tool for that anymore? You guys are pulling out ancient. You guys are pulling out ancient redeems. Ooh. Yeah, I don't even know if I can. Oh wait, hold on a second. I can't even bonk the eggplants. I can't even bonk the eggplants because the eggplants aren't even on the screen. They're not even on the screen. I can't bonk them. Can't be done. No one's redeemed that in 9,000 years. I guess bonking, bonk as is in the thing you do with a hammer, I guess has fallen out of meme fashion a little. But thank you for paying your taxes. Right now I am probably going to be doing my nails as I zhong tonight. Just painting them. Kill these eggplants with hammers. Yeah! We stopped bonking things, and now we just beat them to death with hammers. But yes, good evening to Panis, and good evening to Jake, and good evening to Baxter Crook, and good evening to Neil, and good evening to Panis, and good evening to Yatagarasu, and good evening to Uphill, and good evening to El Fofo, and also good evening to Patamon-san on YouTube, and XT Zerker on YouTube. Good evening. Oh wait, hold on, I set that set to chop chat. There might be more people. Nope, just 2 people. Hello. Hello. Yeah, we just don't bonk anymore, you know? Remember when that was the thing everyone was doing online? To express anger? We got more violent. We got more violent. Bonking, that was cute. That was fun. That was silly. You probably use a hammer that went squeak. But nowadays, you know, everyone's so violent. We're just going straight to beating people to death with hammers. To death. So violent and evil. The world is different. There's also poke and shake. I mean... Was there poke and shake? How far back are we talking? Because when I think of poke, I think of, like, the thing that Facebook used to have. Does Facebook still have that? I don't know if Facebook got rid of poking. Did Facebook get rid of poking? Or do they still have poking, but they just, like, nobody uses it? Does it poke during... Yeah, poke during Facebook? I don't know what shake was. Maybe I'm not elderly enough. Shake is MSN Messenger. Ah, okay. Oh, was shake the thing where you would make the window shake? Was it that one? Because I did use MSN Messenger as a kid. A little bit. Well, actually quite a bit. But it was mostly me and my friends exchanging stickers. It was kind of the proto-Discord emotes. Because, like, I think stickers you could get by, like, you know, if you, like, saved one that somebody else used. So yeah, it was mostly just me and my friends sending stickers back and forth so that we could, like, save them and exchange them. I think that was most of my MSN Messenger. I don't think I ever had a single important conversation on MSN Messenger now that I think of it. Like, people talk about, like, confessing to their crushes on MSN Messenger. I don't think I ever did that. Although, okay, I actually did once over Facebook Messenger. And then he asked me if I was hacked. That was, like, grade 7, I think. Eggy, drink water? Can't. Doing my nails. Doing my nails. Also, I just did drink water. Hold on, this music is... too loud! Hold on. Well, it's not too loud. Just too much for my eggy ears. There we go. Yes. What did bang bang become hotter than bonk? I don't know! Everyone got violent. Evil. Valid reaction? What do you mean by that, Zully? What do you mean? But yeah, no, because I definitely, I'm trying to think. I feel like there's a lot of things that, like, if my parents would have had a better computer, or if I would have had, like, access to the internet at, like, a slightly younger age, I probably would have experienced, but because I didn't, I didn't. Like, let me think. Like, I probably would have used Messenger more. I probably would have tried out more games, I think. I think I was thinking the other day, I'm like, I think I was supposed to like Homestuck, and then the universe forgot. Like, I think I was supposed to get into Homestuck, and then, like, it just didn't happen. Like, by the time I would have been old enough to have, like, the amount of internet freedom required to access Homestuck, Homestuck was kind of already, like, not really on its decline, but, like, it was kind of heading towards its end. Like, I think that was supposed to happen, and then it didn't, you know? An EGGY. Hello, Key Energy. Sorry, I am, like, 60% paying attention because I am painting my nails. I am making them sparkly and pink. Peggle. Eggle. Eggle 2. I don't know. Peggle 2 is now, like, just permanently in my vocabulary. Every time there's like anything to, that just like, my brain goes straight there. Thing to. Thing to. Ooh. Yeah, good game though. Was Peggle 2 like ever actually, like, hold on. Did Peggle 2, somebody told me Peggle 2 never actually came out. Is that true, or is Peggle 2 real? Did Peggle 2 actually happen? It's real. Okay, so Peggle 2 is real. Was it worth that giant fanfare and the big jump? Because, like, I've seen Peggle. I know Peggle existed. It's real, yes and no. Okay, but it does exist. Okay, that's good to know. Because I remember hearing, like, oh, Peggle 2 never actually came out, but maybe that was, like, misinformation, or somebody was messing with me and I didn't realize it. The pinnacle of pegging games. Okay, I'm cutting off the joke here. We're cutting off the joke here. The joke had a good run. We're letting it stop. We're stopping it here. We're stopping it here before it stops being funny. Before it is no longer funny. We're cutting it off while the going is good. Yes, have a nice Monday. Thank you. You too. Today has been an okay Monday, I think. I think I left work last week on Friday and I was going, because I felt like there was like 1 bajillion things that needed doing that I didn't do, or I didn't do fast enough. But, I don't know. Today was like, I came back and I was like, actually, there was like 2 things and I managed to do them all and it was fine. I don't know. I think it's something about like leaving, you know, when you like leave something on Friday? Because it's like when it's Friday, right? Like if it's the middle of the week, right? Like if it's like Wednesday and there's something that you don't finish, right? You're like, okay, I can do that on Thursday, which is tomorrow, right? But I feel like when it's like a weekend, it feels like leaving something to Monday feels like it's like, oh no, that's such a long time. That's such a long time, even though that's only a gap of like 2 days, right? Like, the idea of like, oh, if this doesn't get done, I'll have to finish it on Monday. It's like, on Monday? That's like a whole other week. That's a whole different week. Do you think people could wait that long? Stop redeeming drinking waters. Hold on, I'll have to drink like the entire cup once I finish doing my nails. But, yeah, I don't know. But today was fine. Today was like, oh, I finished all my things. And they didn't even give me too many new things. It was just like a fine and average amount of things. It was alright. It was alright. But yeah, this week will be a short week for me, though. Because, so it's Canada Day this week, but Canada Day falls like directly in the middle of the week. So, instead of giving us Canada Day, they're having us work Canada Day, but they're giving us Friday off. So, I will be free on Friday, which will be nice. I have a short week. Only 4 days. So, like, technically I'm already a quarter of the way through the week. If I think about it that way. I'm a quarter of the way through. And I guess some of you will get... Americans, you guys are getting 4th of July. When is the 4th of July? Like, what day of the week is it on this year? Is it the... Because it's... First is a Wednesday. The 3rd is... Oh, it's a Saturday this year, right? Yeah, are you guys getting the Monday off? Because I know here, like, usually for Canada Day, if the, if it falls on a weekend, they just give you the Monday off. Saturday, but we're getting off on Friday. Ah, okay. So, I guess I am unintentionally... You know, it was supposed to be Canada Day, but somehow I've ended up celebrating the 4th of July, question mark? I don't think so. Not American. Canadian egg. Canadian egg. American egg? No. Canadian. I think I've mentioned this before, but I remember at previous EGGY job, Previous Eggy job was like the Canadian branch of an American company. So obviously there was a lot of like, you know, correspondence with the American side that was going on a regular basis. And I remember that because our like statutory holidays don't line up exactly, a lot of the time we'd have like it seemed like the Americans did not realize this. So sometimes they would be like, excuse me, like we would get back from like a long weekend and they would be like, excuse me, you didn't reply to any of our emails. And we were like, well, we were on holiday. And then like they would go on holiday and we would try to like, somebody would send them an email and they would be like, excuse me, you have emailed us while we were on holiday, how dare you? I don't know, it's like we just have different holidays. Because it's not just like 4th of July. Like, obviously, I think all of us, like, Easter and Christmas and stuff, that falls at the same time for everybody. But, like, stuff like we have Canada Day and 4th of July. There was also, Memorial Day. Memorial Day and, Victoria Day. It's like, those are both in May, but they're, like, different weekends in May. Yeah. Weird, because Monday off would be perfect for Canada Day. Like... The thing is, Canada Day, the first falls on a Wednesday, so there's not really, they can't really attach it to either side of the week, I feel. Apparently, my company is not the only company that's been, like, giving, the Friday off instead, because, like, I don't know, Wednesday is a weird time, because, like, you can't really, like, you can't even attach it to either end of the weekend, and, because you know how sometimes, like, if it falls on, like, a Thursday, people will just, like, take a vacation day the Friday? But, like, when it's a Wednesday, it's, like, you can't really do that with either side without, like, just taking the whole, like, half the week off. So it doesn't really work that way, but also it's, like, what are you gonna do? Like, party and celebrate on Wednesday and then have to, like, wake up at the normal time on Thursday? Like, yeah. Ooh, oh, I Googled Canada, and Google told me the day in Canada is June 29th. What, like, what is it to, like, what day is it right now in Canada? Is that what you searched? It is, in fact, June 29th still, and I believe it will still be set for another few hours. Yeah, excuse me, you didn't react to my Discord post? Excuse me? It is, in fact, today in Canada. Yeah, what day is it in Canada? It's today. Tomorrow, it's gonna be tomorrow, you know? Yesterday was yesterday. But next Saturday will actually be a Saturday, if you didn't know. And then after that, it will be a Sunday, as usual. Hi, Eggy in chat. Hello, Link Store. I am painting my nails before we start jogging. I hope they dry because I need to take a shower afterwards, and I hope I can wash my hair. I don't know, I know the demographics of this chat, so I know that this is not going to be a relatable experience when I explain it, but you know how, like, when you're using nail polish, like, it's different with gel, because gel, like, dries pretty much instantly with the lamp, but, like, when you have, like, regular polish, like, the kind that you need to wait for it to dry, like, I feel like every time I put it on, I get, like, this weird, like, hand paralysis. Because you know how, like, you kind of set your fingers down in a way so that they're, like, not likely to brush up against anything that could ruin your nails? I feel like I end up doing that, but then I do it for, like, 2 hours straight, and then I'm like, I can't. Like, I get, like, a weird hand stiffness after, just from, like, holding that position. It is, in fact, today in Canada. Unless you're in Montreal, then it's aujourd'hui. Yeah, and then tomorrow will be demain. Like, he just slays for 4 hours. That's kind of how it feels sometimes. Or, like, I don't know, it's been a long, long time since the last time I painted my toes. But sometimes when you paint your toes, you have, like, that weird kind of, like, heel walk. Like, you know when you, like, walk on your heels that your toes don't touch the ground? Although, I don't know, I feel like it's harder to ruin your, toenail polish unless you, like, bump your toe on something. But also, like, even if you do ruin your toenail polish, I feel like it's less of a big deal. Because, like, you're not looking super closely at your toes usually, right? So, like, yeah, if the nail polish gets kind of a little lumpy, then that's usually fine, right? Whereas like fingernails, you're looking at these things close up, where it's like if you make a mistake, you're going to like fixate on it for a while. That was like my third coat. I think this one needs like one more coat, I think. But yeah, I don't do regular polish that much nowadays, but I think I do it more than gel polish. I don't know, I feel like it's weird because like I feel like nail polish used to be like I feel like nail polish, as in like the regular nail polish, is like less popular than it used to be. Like I feel like everyone got really into like gels and extensions and all that, and it became a lot more like accessible, right? Like I think it's much easier to do on your own at home now than it used to be, and like a lot of the products are more accessible. But I feel like that's also just made nail polish like far less popular. Like I feel like maybe it's kind of coming back, but like I feel like nail polish like as a concept, nail polish lasts a lot longer, right? No. So nail polish, like that you have to sit there and wait for it to dry, that usually only lasts a couple days. Gel nails, okay, so there's different kinds of gel. What's called like soft gel or shellac, that can usually last usually about a week, but if you do it well, like I've had some that have lasted like over 2 weeks, if you're good about it. Whereas like gel, like hard gel, what they call like hard gel, that's also usually what's used for extensions as well. That one is pretty much permanent. Like it's, if it comes off, it's because you like hit your hand really hard. Usually they don't even like soak it off. They have to like go in with like a drill and like just like file it off. So that one lasts a very long time. But obviously the problem with nails is that they grow, right? So like if something lasts too long, the concern becomes less will this come off, and becomes more like, oh, it's like the same way that like, you know, when you get your hair dyed, if someone gets their hair dyed and then the roots start growing in, it's kind of the same deal. Where like the base of the nail after a few weeks will start like growing again. So at that point you have the option to either get them removed, or you can get what's called like a filling, which is basically where they kind of just like go in and fill the, you know, like the new space that isn't gelled, I guess. And so that way it like matches with the rest of it. That said, I know that was also very popular for a while. I remember seeing a lot of like these like ombre kind of nails, like this like gradient, where like the base would be basically like clear, and then the tip would be kind of like full color, and then it would be kind of like, you know, a shaded in between. But having something at the base that's basically clear also kind of lets you have that gel polish for longer, because basically it allows you to like yeah, you just have it on for longer because it's not as like immediately obvious when it starts growing out, right? What color are you doing? This one is Sally Hansen. Ugh. Oh no. Hold on. I like touched my own nails as I picked up the bottle. Sally Hansen. Good, kind, pure. Color is called Mystic Topaz. It's like a... It's a pink. It's like a... I think it's what people call like a jelly pink, but it has this like blue shimmer to it. My favorite color, Mystic Topaz. I don't know. It's not the weirdest nail polish name I've seen. Like, I feel like there's a reason why when you go to a salon and they show you like that big range of like nail polish bottles to choose from, like there's a reason why most people just like pick one up and they're like, this one please, instead of trying to figure out the name. They're like, yeah, can I just get this shade of red? Thanks. Yeah, pink. I like pink. Yeah, it's not that pink. It's a very sheer pink, I think. Like, it's really more about the sparkle than it is about the color. But it is a nice, kind of like blue shimmer. Yeah, I've been trying to get back into like normal nail polish. But... like picking the number to order at some foreign restaurant. Yeah. Instead of trying to like, Instead of trying to, like, pronounce what's on the menu, you're just like, could I have, like, a combo 5? yeah, it's kind of like that. Except I feel like, you know, at least there is a correct way to pronounce it, whereas I feel like with nail polish, even if you pronounce it right, it's like it'll sound correct, it's just gonna sound really, really goofy, and you're gonna feel weird saying it. But, yeah, I don't know, I used to do my nails, like, super often, and now I guess I just don't have the time. Maybe I should do them while streaming more often. If I'm not playing, like, a game or something that requires, like, constant keyboarding. Because, like, I don't know, clicking with a mouse is probably fine. Like, I feel like I've done my nails while playing, like, visual novels and stuff. Like, you know, stuff where, like, the only control is, like, one button, you know? But, yeah, I'm trying to think, I'm like, what colors should I do recently? Because I'm like, I want to get more, but I also know that, like, I don't need more nail polish. But it would be nice. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, what colors. Because last year I bought, like, this, like... I bought this, like, blue glitter. That one was nice. But then I also bought this other one that was, like... It was one of those things where, like, you know when, like, the lighting in the store is different than the lighting at home? So, like, in the store, it looked like this nice, like, kind of mint sage green. But then I brought it home, and it was more like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's, like, bathroom tile teal, you know? In, like, sort of, like, outdated public washrooms, like, in schools and stuff. Like, how you have those, like, kind of, like, teal tiles. It's like, that kind of color, right? So, yeah, I feel like I bought, like, it's like I bought it in the store and it looked nice, and I brought it home, and I'm like, this is a different color. I even, like, shook it around a little, because sometimes there's, like, some pigment that sinks to the bottom and makes it, like, look like a different color until you shake it. And I shook it, and I'm like, no, it's still not back to what it was in the store. What weird lighting tricks did Shoppers Drug Mart have going on? Like, I don't know what happened there. Yeah. I can only say I've had my nails painted once for a friend in beautician school. Yeah, did they have the day where they were like, I remember when I was in spa school, they had what they called, like, men's day, where they're like, everyone, you need to bring a man. Because we need to practice doing all the stuff we usually do, but on men. Was it, like, for that kind of thing? Because, like, I remember, yeah, there was one day where they were like, everyone, you have to bring a man, and we're going to be doing, like, manicures, and... Or did we do manicures? Yeah, I think we did manicures. We did, like, nails. And then also, like, skincare stuff, and some, like, eyebrow waxing, and, Oh, we did, makeup for men as well. That was the other one. Like, we had to learn... They had us do 3 things. So one of them was, like, natural for, like, I guess, like, sportscaster or, like, newscaster kind of makeup. Where it's pretty much just, like, coat them in foundation until they have no color to them at all. And then they had us do, like, sort of, like, more of, like, a runway makeup type thing. And then they were like, okay, have fun, drag makeup time. So that was, like, the men's day. Which man did you bring? Oh, I had one friend. I knew someone who volunteered. I don't know, it's one of those things, I think, with spa school that was really stressful. Like, one of the most stressful things was that, like, cause, like, for practice, right? We would practice on each other, right? And we would take turns, like, with each week of, like, okay, you're in this pair, you're in this group. This week, you're working on this person. Next week, they'll be working on you, right? But, for exams, you would have to bring someone in, and that was insanely stressful because, like, I don't know, like, if you don't have someone to bring in, or if someone cancels last minute, then you basically just, like, fail the exam by default, which I'm like, that's kind of... Look, I didn't know the word glorp shit at the time, but I think that word describes that. Because, like, I don't know, there was once where I, like, almost failed because, like, I had a friend who volunteered, and then she dropped out last minute, and I just, like, didn't have anybody. Like, I couldn't even invite I think my mom was, like, out of town or something, so I couldn't even, like, invite my mom. Like... And, like... You can't ask people to come in at such short notice, too. Yeah. Did anyone ever just, like, not show up? Oh, like, I mean... Oh, like, did people ever just get, like, straight up, like, abandoned by their model? Probably, for me, they usually was, like, text the morning of. Where I'm like, it's like, you know, my exam is at like 11 a.m. and then it's like 8 a.m. and my friend's like, actually, something came up, sorry. And I'm like, I think that happened once or twice. I'm surprised, like, in my mind, what would make sense would be to have, like, a backup list. Like, maybe, like, not, like, each person has their own backup list, but, like, the school has a backup list. Because in my mind, it would make sense if you're like, okay, like, maybe if there's, like, a list of people where it's, like, sign up for this list and to be a model and, like, on short notice if needed. And, like, you know, if students can, like, sign up. So if they happen to be free that morning, then it's like, okay, go get your nails done as part of someone's assessment, right? But, like, I don't know, the school did not help us. The school did not help us. They provided no help. So if you have no friends, then, like, I don't know, that's a you problem, apparently. Yeah. I remember, and, like, I don't know, the worst part, too, is just, like, I don't know, it's, like, not even my fault. It's like, if my friends keep dropping out, that's not my fault. What do you want me to do? Are you just gonna be like, oh, just try getting better friends? Like, I don't know, what do you want me to do? I remember going through paramedic school, we had to practice giving IVs to each other. I gotta sit down at my day job, because at the time they thought I was using drugs, so my arm has so many needles. I imagine that's probably less fun. I mean, not that every spa practice thing was fun. Like, waxing was ow, ow, ow. And, like, I know that my skin also got kind of wrecked that year because there was certain, like, facial treatments that we were doing way more often than we were supposed to. Because, like, you know, we have to practice this every week, and we're not gonna, like, invent new people to do that on. So I guess I'm just getting this treatment that's supposed to be done, like, twice a month, and I'm getting it every week. And I'm like, why does my skin look terrible? Go to student union and scream. 12-pack of Natty Life, I can do your nails now. Yeah, well, like, I mean, I think, because spa school, like, there was also a hairdressing program. So, like, a lot of the time it was just, like, asking if any of the hairstyling students were free that morning. And that's usually where I was finding, like, backup models, but yeah. Still a stressful thing to have to do, you know? An 18-year-old digging around my arm with a needle. Yeah, not pleasant. Yeah, like, well, because, like, I feel like that's one of those things that's gonna hurt even if they do it right? It's like waxing, right? Where it's like, it's going to hurt if you do it wrong, but it's also going to hurt if you do it right. And, like, I imagine with needles, there's probably, like, other signals that somebody can give. Like, there's other signs that you've done it right or wrong, right? But, like, I don't know. With waxing, it was a little different. With waxing, because, like, it's not always clear that you did something wrong until it starts healing. And then it's like, oh, oops, you went over the same spot too many times, and now there's a scab. Oops. So it's, like, one of those things where it's, like, you can't tell until later if it was done right. Which makes it, scowy. Okay, I think my nails are adequately dry to begin jogging. Hold on. Try not to bump my hand on anything. I also made the mistake of telling people I had no gag reflex, so I was the dummy for nasopharyngeal airway, which is tube or tube you stick in the nose that goes into your throat. So for a time I got like 8 of those put in. What? I mean, I don't know. I imagine in real life that's the kind of thing that's usually done while people are unconscious, right? Alright. We are zhonging. We are zhonging. Nails done. Zhonging time. I think we're just gonna do it normal, I think. But we're gonna do it east only. Yeah. 4, 3, 5, 7, 8. 4, 3, 5, 7, 8. Pin that. Forever. And let me grab YouTube. 4, 3, 5, 7, 8. Pin it. There we go. I'm sure those just hurt regardless of gag reflex. It sounds like you're starting to say a word but not finish it. Do you mean spaghetti school? Spa school. For spa things, such as manicures and pedicures, and face and body treatments, and some basic massage, and what else did we do? Waxing, makeup, and the like. And the like. Yes. Good evening, Iggy. Good evening, Taishi. What is happening? That's weird. I see your comment on screen. Ah, there it is. Okay. I feel like the comments on screen are like ahead of the actual chat box on my screen, which is very curious. Yeah, spa school, Getty, and meatballs. School. Oh, wait, I just realized I never transitioned to the gaming screen. No wonder you guys, nobody was joining. You can Zhong, here we go. No wonder nobody was joining. I never switched the screen. There we go. Now you can actually see. You can actually see gaming. There we go. I don't know, I forgot how to stream momentarily. It happens. It happens. Everyone has momentarily had times where they forgot how to do their job and also their hobby. The mental transition from the talk screen to the gaming screen. Well, it's like, because I guess I opened up my Mahjong Soul window and I was like, okay, that's ready to go. And I guess I just assumed that I jumped to the next screen and I just didn't. Maybe it's like one of those things where like, you like have something that's so routine that you don't even think about when you're doing it until you realize that you haven't done it. And then after that, you start like worrying constantly about if you did it. It's like for me, it's like locking the door or like turning off the hair straightener or something. Like, you know, when you're like, I feel like every time I unplug the hair straightener, I literally like look in the mirror in the bathroom and say out loud, I'm like, I have unplugged the hair straightener. The hair straightener is unplugged because I have unplugged it. Because like, I feel like if I don't, it's like a save point, you know? Because if I don't do something unusual after unplugging the hair straightener, I'm going to forget that I did it. And then I'm gonna be like walking around the whole day Googling like, can hair straightener set your house on fire? Like I'm gonna just be doing that for the whole day. So in order not to worry about it, I have to like say it out loud. I do that when I leave, making sure I lock the door. Yeah, you're like, I have locked the door. I am putting my keys back in my bag after locking the door, something that I have done. And then you like pull on the handle a little bit just to make sure that it worked. Just to make sure that you didn't just like insert the keys into the lock and take them out without turning. The subway driver to do something like that to make sure that they pull up far enough. I have locked the door. I am behaving normally and inconspicuously. I live in a house with doors. I lock the door when I leave the house. I unlock the door when I come back to the house. I am a competent individual. I turn off the stove after cooking. I turn off the hair straightener after using it. I always lock the door. Hi Iggy, happy Mahjong Monday. Hello Light Snack. Hold on, I'm getting Glorpto and logging in. Give me a second. Okay. Well, you seem to be here now. They have to like physically point at a sign to make sure they're far enough ahead, otherwise they get too into a rhythm. Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like I guess with subways especially, because it's like a safety thing where it's like, okay, you have to make sure you don't autopilot. You really have to make sure you don't autopilot. Look at you two wearing event skins. Look at you people doing the gotcha. We have old man. We have old man. We just need fourth person. Sorry, I'm looking at my sparkly fingernails now. My nails are quite long right now, actually. I think when I went to the mall the other day, they had some, like, fake nails. Like, you know, like the press-ons at some stores. And I was looking at some of them and I'm like, I think these might be shorter than my nails are right now. Speaking of gacha, are you gonna make the Uma Club or no? I thought I already... Did I autopilot that? I could have sworn I made the Uma Club. Did I forget? I probably forgot. I forgore. Please forgive me. I'm forgoring all sorts of things lately. All I do is forgore. I forgore more than I remember. Or no, I do remember. I do remember, but I only remember at times that are inconvenient, you know? Like, I forgore the whole day, and then about 3 minutes before I have to go to bed, I remember. I forgore. Other than that, I just forgore all the time. Always forgore. Forgore. Or like, I'll be on the bus. I'll be on the bus, and I'm like, okay, I need to remember to do this when I get home. And then I get home, and I proceed to not do that. Hello, Ina Semiotica. Are you 13 orphansing me in my own chat? Sweet is slow for Zhong. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, we just need a 4th person. We need a 4th Zhonger. Nobody wants to Zhong. Everybody wants to slep. The eggplants are slepping. There we go. Hello, Taco Starved. Welcome. There we go. We may begin. Making a quick calendar event is a good way to remember. I mean, yeah, but sometimes it's like minor things. It's like, oh yeah, I need to do laundry tonight or something kind of thing, you know? Like, I feel like my laundry habits are not regular enough that I can, like, be... Because some people are like, okay, this one day of the week is the laundry day. That's the day when we do the laundry. But for me, I'm like, I guess maybe because... Maybe I'm too fashionable. I'm too fashionable. And sometimes I want a specific thing clean for a specific day, you know? And I'm like, okay, so I'll need to do laundry, like, the night before that, so I can have that clean at the correct time. But, yeah. I don't know, I don't like to set alarms and reminders, because... I don't know, there's nothing that bugs me more than when you are already doing the thing, and then you have an alarm that's, like, set up for that. Like, I know some people, like, for me, I set up an alarm to wake up in the morning, right? And then, but I know some people, like, set alarms for, like, when they need to leave for work, where it's like, okay, I wake up at 6, but I need to leave for work at, like, 7, right? But I don't like doing that. I think I tried to do that once of setting an alarm for when I need to leave for the bus, but the problem is that I am so worried about being late for the bus that I already know when I need to leave for the bus. It's not about knowing, it's not about, like, the knowledge, it's about the execution, you know? Like, if I know when I need to leave for the bus, but, like, if I'm running late for the bus, it's not because I didn't know, it's because something else got in my way, right? Like, you know, I forgot where I put my headphones or something, right? It's different. So usually it would just, like, make me really, really annoyed when I'm, like, already running late for something, and then I have an alarm that's like, oh yeah, by the way, you need to leave for this, you know, the thing you are already... It's like when you're already doing something and somebody tells you to do it, right? Like when you're washing the dishes and someone's like, hey, could you wash the dishes? And you're like, okay, well, now I do not want to do it. Good evening, X-Rock. Yeah. I haven't remembered to get anything done since the Zelda letter reminders stopped and my mom was furious with me. The one thing holding his life together. Really? Well, there's still lots of time to come back. This is survivable. This is survivable. I can live through this. That's possible. I can do that. That felt excessive. Bullying, mean, harassment. Evil. But yeah, I'm not an alarms person. I'm not a writing things down person either. I realize the thing is with writing things down, it's not just that, like, I don't like writing things down, because, like, I don't. But the thing is that even when I do write things down, I'm bad at it. Like, my desk at work is full of notes. It's full of sticky notes that are, like, things that I don't remember the context of. Like, I will have written, like, you know, like a phone number or something on it. Or, like, an email address. Or some kind of, like, internal system number, like, you know, like people's, like, you know, like a customer number or something. Or account numbers. And I don't remember the context of any of it. So, like, I've had, like, something sitting on my desk with a number on it for, like, a few weeks now. And I know it must have been important, otherwise I wouldn't have written it down. But I don't remember what it is. I don't remember what it is, so it's like, okay, I guess I guess I'll just keep it. It's still there because I don't want to throw it out in case it was important. But I don't remember, it must have been important, but important to do what? I don't remember. And it's just been there on, like, on my computer for, like, 2 weeks. Or, like, I don't know, I also had the issue of, like, I will write something down, but then it's totally useless because it, like, writing things down is only useful if you read them later. And if you don't read it later, then, like, you might as well not have written it down, right? I am full of flaws. Eggy, do not forget the DL6. That's why you put it right out in a book and don't tear out the pages. Yeah, but that doesn't solve the, like, no context problem. If anything, that might actually make it worse. Don't forget 67420. Good evening, Punk Asian. The code is not 67420. You guys didn't manifest it hard enough this week. Because, yeah, at work they also gave me a notebook for that exact purpose. And that notebook is filled with out-of-context numbers and emails and names. It did not improve anything. It just put it all in one place. But yeah, I don't know. Even from a young age, I hated writing things down. Like, if anything, that was like the one complaint teachers had about me in elementary school, is like, she never writes anything down and then she forgets it. But it's like, I hated writing things down. It's enough to just do the thing. Now I have to write down the thing. Now I have to write... I never wrote a thing down too. Because, like, I don't know. It was just something like... Like, I didn't like taking notes in class either. Because I felt like taking notes felt like a distraction from the actual class itself. Like, I know the idea is like, oh, it's supposed to help you pay attention, so that, like, you know, but then, like, the result would be that I would have both had, like, incoherent notes that weren't helpful to me later, and also I don't remember anything from the lecture. So it's like, okay, cool, now I lose on both fronts, instead of just, like, paying attention normally. I think I've talked on stream about the one semester where I tried to do notes by hand in university classes, and then just proceeded to do worse in every class. Because, like, everything moves too fast. I think maybe the teachers kind of teach with the assumption that you're typing on a laptop, because, like, I just remember looking at my notes later and I'm like, this is incoherent. I can't read what half of this says because I was trying to write it so fast, and the rest of it I can't understand because I don't remember what I was actually trying to write down. Like, it just it was not. It was not working for me. Try writing deliberately. Again, is that not going to distract me from, like, the actual content? Because, like, that was the thing, was, like, it was mostly just, like... Because, like, I think that teacher, too, also would not upload his slides. Like, I know some teachers would upload their, like, slideshows online if you wanted to look at them later. I don't think that specific teacher did. So that was, like, a lot of the time was just trying to, like, write in the information as quickly as possible before it disappears forever. And obviously that didn't end well for me. And I was just pretending I don't know what a spa is, but note-taking absolutely helps reinforce knowledge. Even better if you have to revise the notes after. Yeah, again, I just, like... I feel like undergraduate classes are more intense with the content than graduate level, but you're expected to know a bunch of other stuff not in the class in grad school. I mean, I think the thing with undergraduate classes is that they're trying to, like, get you up to speed as quickly as physically possible. Because, like, I've definitely had classes that moved really, really fast. Like, I feel like in the first 2 years of university, and, like, again, I've never taken graduate classes, but even just comparing my own undergraduate classes, I feel like the first 2 years of university was, like, everything moved really, 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 really fast. And then, the later years, like, the last 2 years of it, were like, okay, we're gonna spend, like, 2 to 3 weeks on this one thing, right? Yeah. How is Grandma Egg? As a fellow broken bone... As a fellow broken bone haver, I empathize with her more. No, I think it's been a few weeks, or my parents came to visit last week, so she's had lots of visitors. My mom brought her cookies and then proceeded to forget that, like, she doesn't really have a fridge in the room that she's in right now. Because my mom brought, like, a whole batch of cookies. And then she gave it to my grandma. And then my grandma took one and ate it. And then she gave the rest back to my mom. My mom's like, what? And it's like, yeah, where is she gonna put them? There's not really any, like, food storage facilities because they kind of have all their meals, like, brought to them, right? So... yeah. So I think there's some in the freezer. So, here, that I should bring to her next time I see her. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess the thing with note-taking, too, is just, like, at this point, I am no longer in school. So I don't really feel the need to, like, get really good at note-taking again, because I might use it in work, but not really. Not really. I don't expect to be in a note-taking situation anytime soon. Yeah, graduate classes are more in-depth on things. That's what I would assume, right? Because, like, they're not trying to get everybody up to speed. They know everybody... Like, if you've made it this far, you are definitely up to speed, right? So now you can do, like, real business. Real heavy thinking. Quality over quantity thinking. Hold on. Ooh. Not even for self-discovery and self-development. You underestimate the degree to which I hate writing things down. Like, again, I've never been a note-taker at any point in my life, I feel. Like, yeah, even when I was a kid, I didn't like taking notes. I didn't like writing anything down. It's weird, because I liked writing stories. I guess it's one of those things where I guess I just needed to feel like it was worthwhile to write something down. Because it was like... I liked writing stories. Like, I liked writing, like, as a hobby. But I didn't like actually the physical act of, like, writing things down, of, like, taking notes, or, like, write this down to remember it later. Yeah, speaking, looking at people, not my medium. Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, even now, I like writing as a form of communication. But not really for any... Not, like, the physical act of writing things down. Like, if anything now, I still prefer, like, writing... Like, I still prefer messaging people over talking to them, like, in a call. You're killing me, Eggy. With what? My bad opinions? Or my... or my mahjonging skills? There's lots of ways to kill you. Yeah, I enjoy writing, but I hate the physical aspects of it. Well, yeah, of course. It's hard to do with a broken elbow. Counter-argument. Calligraphy videos. I mean, yeah, but you're watching somebody else do the writing. Like... That's different. That's different. Hi, Eggy. Can I join? Yes, in the next one. In the next one. Whenever that ends up being. You're killing Jake to death with hammers. Violence. Violence. Yeah. Should be soon? What are we in? Are we in... No, we're not in all last, are we? I don't think we are. Yeah, I don't enjoy being crushed by monster trucks, so I'm definitely watching videos of them. Hope you get 0 tiles from me and get a Ricci with exhaustive draw. I mean, I already have a Ricci. What more do you want? It's all a last. Oh no, I was yapping and didn't pay attention. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy complaining about how I hate taking notes. But I don't know, I guess... now that I think of it too, I also... Did anybody ever teach you how to study? This is another thing that I thought about, like even in the moment as a kid, I definitely remember discussing this with my friends. Because I feel like... Yeah, never. Because, like, I remember, like, nobody ever told me to study anything until I was in, like, grade 4. And then the teacher was like, don't forget to study for the math test next week. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I did my homework. Is that enough? Is that enough? Like, memorize flashcards? Like, okay, for things where it was memorization, right? Stuff like spelling or, like, those multiplication quizzes where you have to solve all the problems really fast. Like, I guess, yeah, that's memorizing, right? But, like, for things like, you know, like an English test where it was, like, an essay or maybe, like, a math test where you're solving problems as opposed to just, like, writing down the answers that you memorized ahead of time. Like, I'm like, how do you study for that? And we never got a real answer. I remember the dreaded spelling list you got on Monday and test on Friday. See, I was actually really good at spelling. I don't think I ever actually studied for a spelling test. At least not, like, other than, like, the teacher giving us homework. Like, I was always pretty good with spelling. Math was different, but I was good, I guess because I read a lot of books. So I was just, like, seeing words in their natural habitat. Whereas I did not do math problems in my spare time, so I was not seeing numbers in their natural habitat. I think the idea is doing exercise and homework to practice the study didn't really do much. Well, that's the thing, is that, like, the teachers gave us homework, and if I did the homework, I'm like, is that studying? Why would you tell us to study when you're already giving us homework that we're already doing? That saying study, and, like, even into high school, I'm like, I don't know if I ever, like, I'm like, did I, like, I guess in high school I studied in the sense that I would, like, look over the textbook again. But yeah, even in high school, I was like, I still don't know what studying means. I still don't know what it means. I'm passing my classes, somehow. I don't know what that means. Studying in high school didn't actually help. Well, I think it depends. Because for me, it's like one of those things where it's like, sometimes what you need isn't more studying, it's like a different teacher. At least for this, I mean, I guess for the subjects I had trouble with. Because again, I never really had trouble with like English or any kind of like writing focused kind of subject. So like English, social studies type stuff, like I never had trouble with that, but it was mostly math and science for like the few semesters I took science. But even then, a lot of the time, yeah, it wasn't like studying that saved me. It was like getting a different teacher that could explain things differently. Like, you can't study your way out of something that you don't understand in the first place, right? I remember like clockwork, my classmate would call me on Thursday back before texting existed to spell the list over the phone because he didn't write it down Monday. Wait, like you just needed the list of words? Okay. Are you satisfied that I will be losing points? Look, I'm in 4th. What are you even angry about? I came in 4th. What do you want from me? Congratulations, Taishi! And thank you, Taco Starved, and Jake, thank you for play. Alright. Who was it that was asking, for the next game? You should be good to enter now, I think. GG's was fun. Thank you for playing. Good zhanging. Good zhanging. Yes. I didn't like English, but it's possible if you have a bad teacher. If you have a bad science or math teacher, then you're kind of stuck. Yeah. Well, I think the thing is that, like, the idea of English class is, like, it's to make you think, right? So, like, I feel like English for me was, like, one of those things where it's, like, your point can be nonsense, but if you can make it well, then you will pass, right? I feel like that was a lot of it with English, right? Is that, like, the teacher doesn't care, most teachers at least, don't really care, like, what you're saying as much as it is, like, you know, are you putting in the necessary amount of thought to come to that conclusion? Whereas I feel like math and science is like, no, there is a right answer that we're looking for. So, I don't know. If you don't understand how to get to the right answer, then yeah, you're right. You're kind of stuck. Because, like, there's no way, because, like, the thing is with math, right, is that, like, if you follow the right steps, like, if it's, like, solving an equation, if you follow the right steps, then you will get the right answer, right? And, like, it is possible, I guess, to, like, follow the wrong steps and get the right answer, right? But it's very rare to, you know, follow the right steps and get the wrong answer, right? So I feel like when it comes to math, it's like, no, you have to understand what the steps are. Yeah, English is the art of bullshitting with style, also with context. Yeah, it's, I don't know. The best grade I ever got on anything in English was, like, okay, I had to write an essay for an exam on Great Gatsby. And I was originally, I don't remember what the original thing I was trying to write was, but it wasn't panning out the way I wanted to. And then, so I switched to, like, okay, I don't have, because it was, like, originally I thought it had to be, like, the 3-paragraph structure. Like, it had to be, or, like, not 3-paragraph, 5-paragraph. Like, you know, when you have your, like, introduction, 3 points, conclusion. I thought it had to be that kind of essay. But then I was like, okay, I don't have 3 points. So I'm just going to do a 3-paragraph essay. It's going to be, like, 1 point, right? Introduction, 1 point. Conclusion. And I did it really fast because I was, like, running out of time because my original plan just, like, was not panning out. And then I got, like, a 99 on that exam, and the teacher was like, yeah, this is one of the best, like, high school exam final essays that I've ever read. And I'm like, wait, really? Imagine how good I would have gotten 100 if my original idea would have panned out. Is this good enough to turn in? Do you think it's good enough to turn in? I don't know, that's what I'm asking. Yes, turns it in. It was not good enough. Me every time I wrote an essay. Well, I don't know. Were your exams usually, like, in class, or were they, like, take-home kind of things? I never heard good things about Great Gatsby. Actually, for me, it was probably one of the more interesting units we did in English class in high school. Then again, it's also like a really easy book to make fun, I feel. Like, it's very easy to make The Great Gatsby interesting because there's like a bajillion film adaptations. Like, there's a bajillion adaptations of it. And also, like, it's a book about people in the 1920s who party a lot. Like, it's very easy to make The Great Gatsby fun, you know? It's not like, you know, like, what are some of the unfun ones? Or like the less interesting. I don't know. I don't remember anything about A Man for All Seasons. Did anybody study that one? It was a play, I think, we did it in grade 12. I don't remember anything from it. To be fair, I also missed like half the unit, I think, because I kept having appointments scheduled for like for some reason every time I had an appointment, it kept being scheduled during English class, and I kept just being like, "Oh yeah, I'll catch up the next time," and then I just like fell behind. Hear people complain about Catcher in the Rye a lot. Yeah, we never did that one, but yeah, that was like another one that I have heard a lot of people discuss. Favorite high school book I read was Spring Awakening for various reasons. Oh yeah, probably in other countries you probably have completely different books that you read in other languages, right? I remember I had to really hammer poli-sci class. I had to take it for my senior history dissertations. The poli-sci majors were... Okay, but this is the university. I'm talking about high school. It's a lot easier to get a 99% on an exam in high school. I don't think I did that good on any of my university exams. If anything, I think a lot of my university exams were like the teachers make the exam way harder than any of the class assignments. So, like, you think you're doing really well, and then you just, like, instantly get, like, completely bodied by the exam. I think I had one class where I lost, like, 30% of the grade or something. Because, like, I was getting, like, 90 on every assignment, and then I got, like, a 60%. It was, like, 65% on the final exam. And then I just saw my mark just, like, drop, like, 20 points. I didn't only know the phrase "A Man for All Seasons" from the start of the first Johnny English movie. Loved it as yeah, I think it was a play. I don't remember what it was about. Like I said, I was like absent for like a solid chunk of this unit. I think there was something to do with like the Protestant church? Question mark? I don't remember anything about this unit. I think I wrote an essay on it, and I don't remember anything. What play? A Man for All Seasons. See, I don't even remember if it was a novel or a play. Like I said, I was, like, physically absent for, like, a lot of the time we were learning it. Nope, never saw that in school. Because, yeah, I think it was one of the few, like, non-Shakespeare plays that I think was, like, studied in class. Because, yeah, what was it for me? What was it for me, like, the units that we had for high school English? Because I remember grade 9 we studied Twelfth Night. Because, like, every year there was one Shakespeare. It's one Shakespeare per year. So, the grade 9 Shakespeare for me was Twelfth Night. And it was To Kill a Mockingbird, I think, was the grade 9. There had to have been a third book. There must have been a third book that I'm forgetting. Then, it's a play. I read it in school. Okay, somebody remembers. I'm glad somebody knows what I'm talking about. And then grade 10 was Twelfth Night again because I moved schools and they did things in a different order. So I studied Twelfth Night twice. And then, what was grade 10? Lord of the Flies, I think, was also grade 10. Grade 11 was Macbeth and Gatsby, which were very fun, but I also think I just had a good teacher that year. And then grade 12 was, Hamlet. Yeah, it was Hamlet, and it was, Brave New World. Which, to be honest, I have to say I did not like Brave New World as much as Gatsby, and I did not like Hamlet as much as Macbeth. But also, I think I might have just had a worse teacher for grade 12, maybe. With all due respect to my grade 12 English teacher, I think she was not going to outdo the teacher I had in grade 11. I don't think I did any Shakespeare in all my time in high school, really? I don't know, I thought it was like... Maybe it's different in different countries? Because, like, I don't know if Shakespeare, I don't know if it's, like, mandatory. But, like, it would feel weird. Like, if you don't have Shakespeare in, like, a year of high school, then, like, you better have something else to, like, fill up that time, right? That's a name. I also had Lord of the Flies. Yeah, Lord of the Flies was grade 10. I'm reading Night by Elie Wiesel in 9th grade, which in retrospect seems kind of heavy for 9th graders. Well, isn't that kind of the idea, though? Because, like, I feel like a lot of the books that they have you read in school are kind of, like, heavier than you think would be for that age group. But, like, that's kind of the point, I guess. Like, make you read something that, like, you wouldn't normally be thinking about yet. We did Romeo and Juliet in German class in grade 8. Yeah, see, I think we didn't... I missed Romeo and Juliet because the school I went to before I moved, they did 12th night grade 9, Romeo and Juliet grade 10. And then when I moved, the school I moved to did it the other way around. So I never did Romeo and Juliet, and then I did 12th night twice. And then I think in grade 9, I was also in a production of 12th night. I was just like 12th night maxing for like the first half of high school. Like, I didn't really like the Shakespeare unit, mainly because I sucked at it. I think the best teachers I had for Shakespeare units, I think, were ones who were, like... Teachers with, like, a background in theater, I think, were best suited for it. Because, like, the grade 11 teacher I had who taught Macbeth, she had, like, a background in theater, and she was like, okay, everyone's going to be reading for a part every week. We're going to, like, take turns on them. We're going to assign them. You have to stand up in front of the class and also act it out. We are going to have little costumes, and we are going to have little props. I had to sword fight a guy. I had to sword fight a guy with a foam sword. And then there was, like, a plastic skull that was, like, outside the classroom that the other guy, like, he had to, like, sword fight me out of the room, and then he had to go, like, pick up the fake skull and walk into the room with it. Yeah, like... That's the only way that Shakespeare should be done. It makes everything so much fun. Well, like, it's also the way you're supposed to experience it, right? Because, like, they're not novels. You can't read them like novels, right? They're plays. You're supposed to be seeing somebody else act them out. And, like, if your school has the budget to either, you know, like, put on a production or, I guess, go watch an existing production, then, like, great. But, like, you know, sometimes that money just doesn't exist, right? There. I don't know who's we. I'm not winning. Yeah, I did a lot of English courses in school, so I got a lot of Shakespeare, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, Midsummer's Eve, Company of Errors, Othello, Julius Caesar, Hamlet, the works, just every single one. I don't see 12th Night in that list. Yeah, we had to write and act out our own Canterbury Tales. I don't think we touched Canterbury Tales in my classes. Maybe it's different, though, depending on, like, what your English teacher is into. It's been too long since I read Brave New World, and I had to read the plot summary and remember it. I don't know. I think I did not care for Brave New World, I think. It was not something that connected with me. Our teacher made us all do presentations on every book mentioned in it, which resulted in me reading Chekhov's Check. Did you also have to do assignments where you had to, like, basically there'd be, like, a really long list of books, and you had to, like, pick one or two of them and then do an assignment on it? Because I know we had a few of those as well. Yeah, I have, like... two like 70s anthology Shakespeare book of plays. I have like Shakespeare personally. Like Shakespeare personally, I probably have that in there. Shakespeare himself. Brave New World is a very prescient cautionary tale. I mean, I'm trying to remember why I didn't like it. I just remember I really didn't like it. Like, I mean, some of it I think was just like, I've never been like a dystopia person. Alright, congratulations, X-Rock. And thank you, Denny and Alto, for playing. I lost, but that is okay. That is what can tend to happen on Mahjong Monday. GG. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, 10 years does wonders to my memory. But yeah, no, I don't remember why I didn't like Brave New World. I did not like it. Like, again, I've never been like a dystopia person, I think. Maybe I would like it if I reread it now. I think maybe I am not immune to like the whole like, you know when people say like, oh yeah, don't like avoid a piece of media because of its fandom. I feel like maybe I get like that with a lot of like dystopian novels because I've never even considered reading 1984 because I get annoyed enough when people keep invoking it all the time, especially in situations where it is not called for. So I'm like, maybe I'm just like that. Like it's like that with dystopia because I keep seeing people like invoking like various like, you know, various fiction where it's like this is just like Brave New World, this is just like 1984 every time like something bad happens, and I'm like, I don't know, I think I just get annoyed with that. 1984 is really played out. Yeah, I know some people chose, because I think for some of those assignments where you had like a big long list of books, I know some people who picked 1984. I was not one of those people, I don't think. Yeah. Best literature assignment I got was making a short film. Only got 7 out of 12 due to going over the time limit, but we were clearly the public's favorite. Yeah, I like when English teachers would have like kind of creative assignments. I think I had one teacher that was like, make a meme about Lord of the Flies, I think. Like basically there was like for our Lord of the Flies assignments, you had like a list of things you could do. So some of them were like, write a song about Lord of the Flies, or like there was a few different ones. I think one of them was make a meme. I think I made one that was like, one does not simply kill the beast. I think that was mine. But yeah, it was just like a list of like smaller assignments that you could do. Like I guess you could write like an essay about it if you wanted to, but like you also had like the fun options. No Handmaid's Tale? Despite being Canadian, no, actually. I think it might have also been on the list, like the big long list of books that you could pick from for some assignments. But it was not one that I had picked. It was not one that I had picked. You know, now that I think of it, it is kind of odd that, like, out of all the things I read in high school, I don't think there was any one, like, specifically Canadian thing. Because, like, To Kill a Mockingbird is American. Lord of the Flies is British. Gatsby is American. I think Brave New World is also British, I think? Yeah, I don't think we had, like, any specifically Canadian. I don't think there was any, like, specifically Canadian book in my high school curriculum, as far as I can remember. Again, maybe there was some, like, on the big long list, but they weren't ones that I picked. Only bad part was everyone had to act, so every single minute is a low point because it was best director, worst actor. Oh yeah, well I guess it's like, you need to act in it so that you can prove that you actually did participate in the project, right? I remember I did one of those media presentations. I did mine on Great Gatsby. I did a radio broadcast. I was doing them, yeah, see? Like the 20th accent. Like I said, it's easy to make Gatsby fun and interesting. I think we actually had an assignment for Gatsby. Again, it was another one of those like you have a few options and you can pick a fun one. I think we had to like write like a reality show. I don't know. I was with a group. We had to like do we write it or improvise it? We had to do like some kind of like reality show about these characters, which again, extremely easy thing to do for something like Great Gatsby. Despite how small Uruguay is, I don't think we were ever told to read something not by an Uruguayan author. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe it's. I'm going to expose my ignorance. Do you speak Spanish in Uruguay? Because I'm also wondering if maybe it's like a language thing. Yeah, Spanish, yeah. Because I'm thinking maybe like... Because there are lots of English-speaking countries and all of them make like a ton of literature, I wonder if it's maybe just like a thing of selection? Because like, it's not like British and American literature and theater has not been important in Canada, right? So I'm like, I wonder if it's maybe just like... If we wanted to put more Canada in, we'd have to take something else out. And I guess nobody can agree on what that should be, so... Yeah. Makes sense, those classes are technically culture studies, preferably your own, yeah. Because, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think... I'm like, I think for French, because for French class, I think we definitely read more Canadian stuff, but that's also because, like, I think it's just, I don't know if it's easier. Because there's still a lot of French literature out there. There are many people across the world who speak French. And many of them do write books and plays. But, like, I feel like there was more, like, French-Canadian stuff. Unless it was all from France, and I just didn't realize it at the time. How much Canada you can really add that's more valuable than what's already there? Yeah, because, like, again, there is lots of Canadian authors. We are not short on Canadian authors. But I'm trying to remember if we ever studied specifically one specific Canadian author, and I'm like, I can't really think of any... I can't think of anything! Yeah. But how many of those books and plays are good? Well, that's subjective. And maybe it also comes down to the taste of the English teacher in question. It's like, I don't know. I remember as a kid, I read a lot of books. And I remember, like, there was a lot of Canadian children's authors, I feel. Like, you could go to the library. I remember going to the library as a kid, and there would be, like, entire shelves that were specifically, like, this is the kids section, and here is all the Canadian books, specifically by Canadian authors. Like, it was common enough that they could do that. But... I don't know, maybe that's... I fell off of books as a concept after after elementary school, so maybe that's also just a skill issue on my part. Always shocked how few book genres there are. What do you mean? Like, compared to what? Like, films? Video games? I might have read something by Brett, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I wonder, I feel like some of these also depend, because there's definitely things I think you would have touched upon more if you took other classes alongside English that were, like, English adjacent. So I feel like if you took, like, drama class or something, because I feel like we touched on it in drama, but, like, not in English class. Yeah, so many books are just young adults. I mean, to be fair, I feel like when it comes to books, sometimes it's more of like a marketing thing, right? Where it's like, we need to shove the book into a category so that when the shoppers are shopping for books, they know what category to look for. As opposed to, I don't know. I guess it's kind of the same for video games, but like, for video games, I feel like it's a little different because I feel like what you're actually doing is fundamentally different between genres. Because, yeah. I don't know. I think when I was a kid, I think my thing is that, like, when you're a kid, there's, like, they make every kind of book for children. Like, if there is something that can be made appropriate for children, they have made a children's version of it. Really? 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 But yeah, like, because you have, like, you know, kids fantasy, and you have, like, kids action, you have, like, kids mystery, kids... I don't know if there was, like, kids romance, but I definitely remember reading books as a kid that had, like, some kind of romantic element to them. But, like, yeah, you have, like, kids adventure, kids... Like, again, if something can be made appropriate for kids, they have it for kids. But I feel like, again, maybe it's better now, but I definitely remember once I hit high school, like, the variety of books, there was not nearly as much of a variety of books being written for teens compared to kids, I think. Hello, Nanora! Yeah. Kids romance as a title sounds vile. I don't know, I'm trying to think of, like, an example, but, like, I feel like I definitely read books as a kid where there was, like, a main couple. But I feel like maybe it usually wasn't the main focus. It was just, like, a thing that happened to also happen in the story, which was about something else. That's not true. I mean, yeah, but I started high school in, like, 2012. I don't know, the feeling I got in high school, and it was basically, it was kind of like... Because I feel like at the time, when I was becoming teenager, there was, like, 3 genres. I think I've complained about this on stream before. Like, there was, like, 3 genres of fiction. Like, everything could fall in between, like, 3 kinds of things, right? You had, like, romance high school drama stuff. You had fantasy. And you had, like, either apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic. Like, or, like, I'm gonna throw, like, post-apocalyptic and, like, dystopia into kind of the same category, because I feel like a lot of them kind of followed the same kind of patterns I found. And to me, I'm like, I was not particularly interested in either of those, like, in any of those genres. So I feel like I just kind of, like, fell off. Zombies probably bring around that time. I think zombie I'd categorize. I throw zombies in the post-apocalypse category as well. Because, like, you know, for, like, fantasy, you had, like, you know, Twilight and all the other Twilight-adjacent things at the time. For post-apocalyptic and dystopian, I think there was a lot. Like, there was Hunger Games, there was, what was the other one I read? Was it Uglies, I think? There was... Yeah. So, like, I feel like there wasn't as big of a variety. I think The Fault in Our Stars was also really big when I was a teenager. But I feel like that one also falls to me into the, like, high school romance drama kind of genre. So, I think for me, I was like, okay, I'm not interested into any of these, but my mom won't let me read books for grown-ups yet, mostly. She has to, like, approve them first. And I am too much of a nice child to try and skirt around that, so I mostly just stopped reading books. There's a former teen librarian in the chat. Ah, I see. Is there anything I'm forgetting? Because I'm trying to remember, like, what was popular at the time? Like, early 2010s. Like, because I remember there was Hunger Games, and then, like, there was like a lot of Hunger Games-esque things. Like, I never read Divergent, but I had some friends who were into that. Yeah, Vampire, Twilight, what was the other one? There was definitely other Twilight, like, similar to Twilight. But none of the titles are coming to my mind right now. What kind of genre do books for adults add to the mixes? Well, you can have... I don't feel like a lot of people were writing murder mysteries for teens at the time. They definitely existed, but, like, they weren't terribly common. Artemis Fowl was my jam as an elementary schooler. Yes! Okay, I did like Artemis Fowl. I don't know. I think my problem is that my favorite books as a kid were, Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events, and I don't think anybody was writing anything like that for teenagers at the time. Like, that's the kind of thing where it's like, it's either gotta be a children's thing, or you gotta go straight to adult novels for anything even slightly like it. Like, nobody was writing Series of Unfortunate Events for high schoolers at the time. Oh, that was a quick game. I feel like I got through one complaint. And the game's already over. Good job, Denny. Thank you to Sopian Haiku and Mechlam. Thank you for playing. Thank you. Yeah, there were no real murder mysteries for kids and early teens, but there was detective stuff for younger... Oh, wait, no. Well, there was, like, Nancy Drew. Did everybody forget about Nancy Drew? Like, the only thing I read for, like... Maybe not the only thing I read. A solid chunk of everything I read for a few years there. Yeah. Right from Warrior Cats to Sexy Vampires. Yeah, because, like, what did I read as a kid? Series of Unfortunate Events. Nancy Drew. Would read the Hardy Boys if I was really, really out of Nancy Drew. The Hardy Boys, yeah, only when I was, like, out of Nancy Drew, I think. What else? What else did I read? Warrior Cats. I did read all the ones that existed at the time. I read Harry Potter just like everyone else, but I wasn't, like, a huge Harry Potter fan. I mostly just read it because it was kind of what everybody else was reading, so, like, if you met somebody who also read books, then you had, like, kind of a guaranteed conversation topic. But I wasn't, like, super into it. Let's see. Hunger Games? I think I read the first two, and then I started the third one and didn't finish it. Oh, what were some of the other ones? I think I gave... Because you know how there was Warrior Cats, and then there was some other, like... Oh, what was it? I started, Guardians of Ga'Hoole. Like, the one with the owls. And I remember I read the first book, and I was like, that was really cool. And then... But, like, the thing is that the first book... Why do we have... 4 Washizus, let's go. 4 Washizus. Everyone, we are all the same. No matter who wins, we're all getting round. Do any of the boys remember The Ranger's Apprentice, or is that niche? I don't remember that, no. But also, I'm not a boy, so maybe that was just not marketed to me. Oops, all Washizu. Yeah, the owls. Yeah, because the thing is, the first book was, like, kind of cool. Because I remember, like, the first book had, like, this, like, kind of, like, owl cult. Where, like, they would, like, intentionally clip their wings so that they would never be able to fly for reasons that I can't remember. And I thought that was really cool. But then the whole first book is them escaping from that. And then after that, my interest fell off because... I don't know, I found the weird owl, like, the owl cult was interesting, and then once they escape the owl cult, then I'm like, I'm less interested in everything else going on now. The Very Young Boys book kind of book is my first real book series I remember reading on my own. Ah, okay, so it was like, what, you didn't read Captain Underpants? Even I read Captain Underpants. I didn't even like fart jokes, and I read Captain Underpants as a kid. I read literally everything, so I know all of these for some reason. Yeah, some of these I'm like, I'm sure there's a bunch of books I've read and they're all just like buried in my memory, and I'm sure I'll dig them up for somebody else. Does the title Septimus Heap mean anything to anybody, or was that just me? Like, that was a series where, like, if you told me what it was actually about, I would not be able to tell you, but I remember it had, like, a few specific ideas that I really liked. Like, I guess in kind of, like, the universe and world building of it, because it was, like, another, like, kids' fantasy series. And it was about, it involved the seventh son of a seventh son who was important for reasons I can't remember. I think I was maybe, like, 9 or 10 when I read these. But I remember, like, one idea that stuck with me for some reason was, the way that ghosts work in that universe, where basically, like, when somebody dies, for, like, the first year, their ghost is basically stuck in the place where they died. So, oftentimes, like, if somebody, like, if somebody who dies and becomes a ghost, like, the people around them would try to, like, set up an area for them to be able to, like, live comfortably in their one spot for a year, without getting too bored or anything. But then after that, they can move around, but they can only go to places that they went to while they were alive. So they can't, if they try to, like, travel somewhere new, or, like, they'll get, like, whisked back to, like, the closest place that they've been already. And then, like, on top of that, though, there was also, like, special allowances within those laws, I guess, of, like, so ghosts, if your ghost was, like, a sailor while they were alive, or if they had a horse, they are allowed to continue using their boat or their horse, but they're not allowed to get off their horse or to, like, disembark from their boat in anywhere that they haven't been before. Which I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. The idea that somebody can, like, travel the world in a boat, but, like, they're not actually able to get off the boat. But they can still travel the world. I'm like, that's kind of cool. I like that. I don't know why that specifically stuck with me, and for some reason just, like, nothing else. How to Train Your Dragon, the books, is a thing you knew about? I think I read one of them. I don't think I read all of them. Was it a series? I think it was a series. Yeah. Is Percy Jackson fantasy? Yes! I also read some of those. I think I wasn't as into it as some of the other... Like, there was kids in my class who were, like, really, really into it. I don't think I went that far. Artemis Fowl I did read, and I liked it a lot. I read the first Aragon, and it wasn't for me. I think I also did the same thing. I finished it. I know for sure I finished it. But I think there was, like, a sequel that I did not read. I'm so burnt out on Percy Jackson stuff. Is it still going? Are they still making new ones? Because, like, I know there's been, like, a lot of, like, other Percy Jackson stuff. Like, I know there was a movie that people didn't like, and then there was, like... Was it a movie or a show that people liked a bit more? I think it was a stage play? Was it a musical? I don't remember. But, like, are they still making, like, new books? Like, there's new story happening? There's a show airing now-ish? Wait, now? I remember hearing about one a few years ago. Is it still going, I guess? Yeah, if I'm my teens, I want more. When I was working at the psych hospital, it was very split, but people would watch it because, like, what else are you gonna do? But from what I saw, it was kind of rough. Yeah, because, like, I know the show I've heard has had, like, slightly better reception than the movie, but I'm also under the impression that the movie, like, the bar was kind of on the ground. So, yeah. But yeah, no, I think the thing, too, is, like, as a kid, I was good at reading. Sorry, this is gonna come off as bragging, but this is an actual complaint. But, like, as a kid, I read ahead of grade level. So that's the bragging part. But the problem was that this was also a debuff because it also meant that if I wanted to read certain things, I kept having to run it by my mom. Because the problem is that when you read ahead of grade level, you're also reading ahead of age level. So, like, there were things that, like, my mom, like, technically I would have been able to read and, like, follow the story, but, like, I would have not. My mom did not deem it appropriate for me to read. So that was like the thing, I guess, with being a teenager, is trying to figure out, like, what is the boundary now? I don't know what the boundary is now. Because also in high school, you start, like you guys said earlier, like, in high school, you start reading, like, a lot of darker stuff for English class, right? And that's, like, on purpose, right? But you kind of... You don't know where the line is anymore there either, because it's like... I guess there are things that you're reading in class that you're like, I don't know if my parents... Like, if I borrowed this from the library, I don't know if my parents would have gone for it. It's okay, I didn't know what cordial was until I asked my mom. Oh my god, I remember there was this one book, and this is, I think, also my parents not looking through things, because I think... But I remember there was a book I read when I was a kid. And it was about, like... It was about, like, students bullying each other. Like, it was about, like, a bunch of middle school students who start, like, this website with the intention of using it to bully each other. And basically one of the things that happens in the story is there's this one girl who, like, a bunch of students spread rumors that she's a lesbian. And the thing is that at the time, I did not know what a lesbian was. But, like, I knew what bullying was. So I was able to, like, I guess follow the story to its conclusion. Because I'm like, okay, I'm familiar with the concept of bullying and people being mean to each other. I know what that is. So it's one of those things where it's like... I guess, like, when you're a kid, you just get better at, like, filling in the blanks if you don't know what something is. Because, like, for some reason, I just, like, it never occurred to me to ask an adult, like, what this word means. So I just, like... I don't know, I just made it to the end of the story, and I was like, okay. And it didn't occur to me until a few years later when I actually found out the definition of the word lesbian, and I'm like, ah, okay. Oh, huh? Yeah. My father made me look up stuff in the dictionary when I asked him what a word was, which I hated, so I developed the ability to guess etymologically by accident. Well, I mean, that's, like, actually a pretty good skill to develop, like, to look at the context and have, like... Because the other thing, too, is I think, like... You don't always need to 100% understand every single word, right? Like, maybe if you're being asked to use it in a sentence, yes, you should know what it means, but, like... If you're just, like, passively... Maybe not passively, but, like... If you're reading a book, you're not the one who's coming up with the sentences. Man, you guys are so fast tonight! Everyone's so fast tonight! How are we already at the end of the game again? Everyone's too fast! Everyone's too fast! We're all too fast. Yeah, I mean, Eggy never started the Gay Awakening questline. I don't know, it was one of those things. I think about, like, when I was in elementary school, and I was like... I feel like at the time, it was in, like, the weird space where it was like, okay, we know, like, teachers would tell us not to call people gay, because that was offensive. They would not tell us what gay meant. So it's like, if you know what it means, good for you, and if you don't know what it means, you're on your own. So it was like, I don't know, it was like kind of a weird time. It was like a weird in-between time, I think. The news is I got engaged 2 weeks ago. Yippee! Unless you were joking, in which case, yippee! But as a joke. Yeah. I don't know why, but I had Eastwind in every round. Yeah, I don't know. The last 2 rounds were, like, very, very fast. You guys are, like, speed running. Unless I end up with some awkward ones. For a really long time, I thought kidneys and ovaries were the same thing. You're like, yeah, it's a body part. That's all I need to know. Yippee! Adaptive, yeah. Yippee! Neutral. Yippee! Jokingly. Yippee! Sincerely. Yeah, the Greg will be invited to the Gregding. Eggding. Marriage. Oh yeah, Pride Month ends and Canada Day begins. I have no idea what that means. I don't know. July. I had a very regressive sex ed in school, so I spent most of 5th grade anxious when my period would come. I don't know. I'm trying to remember, because like in health class they did explain it to us. And they did separate the guys and the girls. Although the downside of it is I think a lot of the guys did not learn much about the girls and vice versa, which meant that there was large gaps in knowledge. But, you know, that's better than not having knowledge at all, right? Alright. Let's see if we can make a game actually last a reasonable amount of time. Not too long. But a reasonable amount. The best part is how I found out they were different. I got hit really hard on the side of my soccer ball and would yell, ah, my right ovary. Yeah, punch him in the ovaries. I very confidently proclaim that children were born from the belly button during sex ed class. I mean, I guess the belly button has something to do with childbirth, right? Like, it's like the cut umbilical cord or something, right? So it's like, you weren't far off. You were going in the wrong direction, but you weren't far off. Yeah, I knew it sexist from a documentary and TV and somehow still messed that up. Yeah, it's like... Because, yeah. I think, now that I think of it, though, for sex ed for my class, they didn't actually talk much about, like, actual sex. Like, they talked a lot about, like, this is your body and how it works. But, like... And also, like, this is diseases and how they work in relation to sexually transmitted illnesses, I guess. But... yeah, I don't think they ever mentioned much about, like... yeah, like, even within high school, I feel. But also maybe they were, and I just, like, well, I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I was like, ew, gross, and I just, like, wasn't paying attention. That's also a very real possibility. My first thought when someone described sex was, that sounds made up. It kind of does, doesn't it? Like, it's like, how did the species procreate if doing so is this unintuitive? My school was very comprehensive, so I got most of mine there, and again, I had my driver's license first, so I had a lot of experience with helping the girls with getting products. Ah, were you the designated, like, errand runner? Like, you made that off as seriously rich coming from a kid? I don't know. Even as an adult, I'm like, if I didn't know, I would also think it was made up. Oh, great wise car haver. Please head to the Walmart. And fetch me... the cloth. And the elixir. Oh wait, no. Elixir has to be a liquid, doesn't it? I don't know if a solid bar of chocolate can be an elixir. I've already learned the habits every time my one friend crave Krispy Kreme. Good old Kristen Kreme. And I was like, yeah, I think... Krispy Kreme. Oh, a tampon company showed up to my middle school to do a presentation on periods and give free samples to everyone. These guys asked what do we do with these. We were told to give them to a friend or family member. Naturally, we all made tampon nunchucks and beat them. Yeah, I don't know. I think we did get free samples of not tampons, but pads, I think. But I think it was only the girls. I think it was like one of the times when they like split up the classes. Yes, good evening, Laughing Puck. A bar of chocolate can be a panacea. Okay, does an elixir have to be a liquid? I guess a panacea can be any form of matter. Maybe not gas. But I guess there's nothing stopping it from being gas. That'd be kind of weird. Does it... I know a potion has to be a liquid, right? Like, that's the whole point of a potion, right? But does an elixir... Is an elixir a potion? Is it the same thing? Run! Yeah. One of the weirdest ones in college, I saw a catch in college in the student function. It felt like a bump from the crease. I pulled like 30 sealed single pads. Like, who lost this? So for a while, it's a local black market pad dealer. Hit Iggy again. You don't have to apologize. That's how Zhong works. Do not play worse Zhong just to not hit me. But yeah, very feminist here. I think we often talk about period products and women's things despite being majority male. Again, I am the most maidenless VTuber on Earth. I need to I should do another. I need to do another eggplant census. Because I remember the last time a few years ago I ran like a survey of like, you know, just general demographics, general eggplant demographics to see like, okay, where are you guys from mostly? What is the age and gender and, you know, country breakdown here? And I'm trans non-binary. See, I am the only streamer on Earth to have more non-binary viewers than female viewers, I think. Because more people checked off other in the survey than woman. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that happened. Like, someone DM Beb and Teller were talking about periods. I think there was like one person who had selected like woman for under the like gender breakdown, and that was probably Beba. It was probably Beba. The girliest streamer with the girliest content with 0 girls. I don't know. I need to isolate my fan base. I need to alienate my fan base. I need to do videos about like nails and makeup and well, makeup is really hard to do as a VTuber actually. I need to be talking about makeup more. I need to be talking about nails. I need to be what else do women like? I need to be doing like only Mitski songs on karaoke. We are going. I need to. We are going to go full girly. Make everything pink. The MV seem to love it. I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm somehow the only streamer to ever have more non-binary people watching than women, at least according to my survey. When my former Minecraft server owner came to town, we went makeup shopping. Well, I don't know. Like, makeup is a girly thing, but I think it doesn't have to be, necessarily. We watch you knit. I mean, is knitting... I mean, I guess knitting is kind of a girly thing. But, like, I don't know. I feel like with VTubers, I feel like the way that you, like, style yourself is not always going to be, like... Like, being girly does not necessarily net you a fan base full of girls. If anything, it seems to kind of do the opposite. Because, like, I think of, like, VTubers I know of who have, like, a super girly aesthetic And I don't think any of them have like a majority female fan base. Yeah, to get girls, you need to be cool like Mori. Yeah. Like, I think about, like, female VTubers with a lot of female fans. And yeah, it's largely, I don't know. Am I out the loop? Because I'm afraid to give examples because I know someone's going to tell me I'm wrong and that I have massively misread their audience. Yeah, who do the girls watch then? I mean, the answer obviously is like, okay, if we're not going to count male VTubers, then like if that's off the table, then I know I feel like Callie has a lot of female fans. I feel like the more recent a lot of the more recent like the two most recent lineups of Hololive English girls, I think, have a lot of female fans. At least compared to Myth and Promise. Gura has a surprisingly amount of female fans. I mean, yeah, but Gura is like huge, so she has a surprisingly large amount of everyone fans, I think. Crony, yes. Let's see. Callie. Yes, Mori Calliope. Speaking of Mori Calliope, I feel like Gigi has a fairly big. Gigi and Liz, I think especially, out of Justice, I feel those two have, yeah, a lot of girls. I feel like Narissa has a big female fan base. Fuamoko, I feel. But, like, again, Fuamoko are also very popular in general, so I feel like that's also just, like, another case of, like, that's just, like, a big everybody fan base. I'm trying to think of indie VTubers, though. Like, indie VTubers with lots of girls in their audience. And, like, I don't know. On one hand, I'm like, part of me is like, oh, Mint Fantôme, she has a lot of female fans. But also, I feel like that might be another case that's also just, like, she has a lot of everybody fans. Yeah, indie is more difficult. Yeah, you're definitely right there, I think. Can I ask you, though, are you disappointed you have a majority male audience? Not really. Not really. No. Because, like, I mean, for me, it's like, as much as you can try, like, maybe if you're like a super mega marketing expert, you can try and be like, I'm going to appeal to this kind of person. But even then, like, there's only so much of a say that you can get in your audience, right? So, like, I'm not going to be mad. Cannot be mad that there was, like, oops, look. Is my love not enough? Well, also, too, like, I stream on Twitch. That's the other thing, too. Like, I know my numbers are, like, the gender demographic, I think, is also due to just Twitch having more male users than female users as well. But yeah. But yeah, Twitch is an actual debuff for this. Yeah, compared to YouTube. The women are on YouTube. You know egg is a trans meme, right? Yes, I'm aware. But I've also... It's also been a nickname I've had long before I think me or my friends knew about that, so... I have had people ask about it and then get slightly embarrassed when I say no. It's happened on a few occasions. But yeah. Probably more female on TikTok or something? Yeah, I guess maybe like Instagram. I feel like I'm going into stereotypes though at this point. It's like, oh, of course, the women always on Instagram with makeup. What kind of trans meme is egg? Oh, it's a common, I guess, it's not really is it a meme? I feel like it's more of an expression. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the definition is mostly it's used to refer to a trans person who has not yet figured out that they are trans. So, like, the expression, I guess, is more like when they figure it out, then it's like breaking the egg. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I am correct. Okay. Do people even play Mahjong on Instagram? Exactly. Exactly. Oh wait, apparently yes, but not the kind of people that would generally be watching a VTuber stream. Yeah. It's a cool versus cute axis in general. Yeah, I guess that's true. Of like, yeah, cool women tend to attract, I guess, a bigger female audience compared to cute women. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I fall into either category of cool or cute. I probably lean cute. But I think Eggy is hella cute. I am very cute. I am very well, I'm not. I could be cuter. I could be cuter. Adorable maxing. I could be cuter. But I guess there's also there's lots of different genres of cute, right? I don't know if I fall into cute, says woman who stream. Yeah, your name is literally coming from tiny baby. Oh wait, you're talking about me. I thought you were talking about you. Like, I'm like, your name is literally Nanara. Like your name is coming from woman whose entire thing is talking like a baby. But yeah, that's true. I did have baby Eggy. But also, like, I don't know. I guess there's lots of different ways to be cute, right? Because like I wouldn't categorize myself in like the like super hyper moe. I don't think I'm cute in that way. And that's usually what I think of when I think of like trying to be cute. Is like big moe eyes, higher pitch voice. But I don't really fall into that category, I don't think. Oh goodness, I have gone far astray. I don't know what hand I'm trying to make anymore. Baby eggy? Like a togepi? Like a quail egg? Just like an egg but smaller? Yeah. Okay. I think it's an overboard moe because though it can be exhausting to be. Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's tiring to be, but I can also imagine it's also like tiring to watch. It probably goes both ways, right? Because like I think if I had to keep up like a higher voice, I don't know if I'd be able to do it. Like, because like even people who originally stream with a higher voice, a lot of them like kind of fall into a more natural tone over time, right? But can you do it at all?
I can do it. I can do it. I think the problem is that I have to actively think about doing it, which I feel does not lend itself well to streaming, right? Because streaming is about multitasking. It's about multitasking. And if I have to multitask, then I'm inherently just gonna be better. I'm gonna be worse. I'm gonna be worse at making the voice. I feel like this voice is already coming apart. I'm becoming less and less moe. I'm becoming more actually. Would you watch me if I talked actually all the time? If my only voice was the actually voice?
See?
You have to be consistent about it. See? I have to actively think. Otherwise I become too actually, and then I'm nerd. Then I'm nerd. You sound like there's a filter on your voice that pitches you up. It's crazy. I mean, this is natural pitch filter. Natural pitch filter where I simply talk more nasally. This is very my Nichijou voice, is it? I think it's been a while since I've seen anything from Nichijou. You actually do the actually like 90% of the time. This also sounds dangerously close to Gleep Glorp. That's true. That's true. I mean, I guess this is kind of the voice. This is the kind of a Gleepy Glorpy voice. A little bit. A little bit. But yeah, I think I would not be able... If I stream like this, I think I would be worse at talking. I'd be worse at yapping. It would be a yapping debuff. Because I have to talk slower too. Like, I think that's another part of this voice is also the pace of it. Because I feel like my natural voice, I talk a lot faster. But here I have to talk a lot slower. And I think that's a debuff. It's a debuff for yapping. Your throat would be dead in a week. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I don't think it's much easier. It's much easier to upkeep a high voice, in my opinion. At least for me. It's easier to keep a higher voice compared to a lower voice. Like, I know when I have to read lines for Susie when I do the Delta Rune streams, I feel like that is harder on my voice than this is. This is easier to keep up. This is easier to keep up compared to like this. Like if I have to do a low gravelly voice, see, this is why I can't fall into the cool. I can't fall into the cool category because if I try to talk like this will destroy my throat. This will destroy my throat. More than this. Sorry, I am fidgeting with a bow that has this like clip. I don't know if it's coming through on the mic.
Speaking of deeper voice, you know who everyone's seen years and years? Egbert. True. I don't know what to do with him. I don't know what to do with him. He's been sitting in the dungeon. I'm sorry, Egbert.
Can you sing with this voice? Ah, that's a good question. I think singing, it depends on the song. Because I think, with singing, you also have to deal with, like, the break in your voice, right? Like, you know how, if you've heard of, like, head voice and chest voice, like that kind of thing? You know there's kind of, like, a break, right? Like, if you go, like, like, if you heard that, like, between the like, there was kind of, like, a... Or maybe I have to start from lower for it to make sense, like, because, like, yeah, if I try to go with the lower voice past there, then it will sound bad and also be bad for my throat. So there's no point in doing that, right? So usually that's when you switch into the like you go like right? Like you kind of transition into that kind of softer tone, right? Whereas if you're going with a high pitched voice, it's the other way around, where like it's harder to do lower notes. Like you can't be like because otherwise it just gets very breathy and it kind of stops being music, right? So if I want to be able to take advantage of my whole range, I feel like well, I mean, I guess it depends on what I'm singing though. Because like I imagine if I'm singing like cute girl idol song, I'm not going to be trying to hit a lot of low notes, right? Yeah, have you heard Grape? Her voice has a natural roar that makes her fall into cool. Again, yeah, like there's certain things that I think are just like innate to your voice that you only get so much of a say over, right? More air, Eggy, more air. Yeah. But I don't know, I've tried to sing things in cutesy voice. I don't know, what do I sing in cute voice? I don't know, I think the thing with cutesy voice though, with moe voice, is you have to have like a very like stable and consistent tone. Like there's no room for vibrato in there. You really have to like lock in on never shaking your voice, you know? You gotta maintain that note exactly where it is. But I don't know, maybe I think I also just feel like I have like terminal musical theater voice. Because I've noticed this when I've tried to sing like any kind of like softer song. But like, I've been trained to enunciate a lot and to
be very dramatic, and I don't know how to undo that. I don't know how to undo that. And I don't know, it gets worse when I sing in other languages too, because then it really sticks out. Which again, might just be a pronunciation thing. Like, yes, my Japanese pronunciation is never going to be perfect. But, I don't know, somehow it's even worse than doing it in English. Just terminal musical theater, incurable musical theater voice. Which, like, I don't know. It's not the worst fate. It's not the worst fate. But I do feel out of place when I'm singing a lot of things. Yeah, it could be worse. I had to untrain myself to have a mid-Atlantic type accent when speaking loud. Well, I mean, I think in certain parts of the world, you're also kind of at a debuff. Like, that was something that my choir teacher would always complain about. Because, like, Canadians have a tendency to, like, really accentuate certain syllables that just don't work very well in music. Like, they had to keep reminding us in choir, like, if we have a word like heart, you cannot, under any circumstance, like, emphasize the R, because it's just, like, not a nice sound for singing. Because, like, usually, like, if you're British, you might go, like, hot. And then when you sing it, it's, like, hot. But then, like, if you're saying it, like, heart, like, like, I think a lot of parts of the US have the same problem. Like, you can't be going, like, heart. Like, it doesn't sound right, right? So, I think there are actually, like, certain accents that, for certain genres, will give you, like, a debuff. Not a debuff for everything. Like, I imagine having a southern accent would probably be more of a buff for country music, right? But, like, for certain genres, like, I guess classical in this case, like, that kind of accent it's a bit of a debuff. Yeah, theater habits die hard, yeah. The word art comes up a lot. Well, because, like, there's a lot of words that come up in songs a lot that have that kind of sound in it. Heart, part, depart, apart. They don't all have the word part in them, but, like... Yeah, I did one musical, I just think I broke the director because she tried to get me not to swallow my R sound, and I just gave up. You gotta get more British about it. And, like, I don't know, some musicals, like, I mean, I feel like American musicals saying, like, heart, like, doesn't feel as out of place, but, like, I guess if it's something that's, like, more British, or, like, more old-timey sounding, I guess. Hello, Egg. Hello, Niji Maari. Yeah, fixing when talking, but singing, I have zero experience. I mean, I guess singing is much like talking, except when it isn't. I guess you do kind of have to learn with singing, like, kind of, I mean, yeah, I guess there are things you can learn to do when talking, but not necessarily when singing. It's fancy talking, yeah, but, like, you gotta learn to move your mouth in different ways, you know? Like, there's things that, like, will feel natural when singing that absolutely would not sound natural if you did them while talking. Like, the level of enunciation you need to have when singing, much higher than for talking. No matter the genre, really. Well, except, I don't know, maybe there's some genres that are mumblier, but, like, for the most part. Be careful with sibilants, yes. With the p, t, k, f, sh. Gotta be careful with those, especially for microphones. Yeah, I'm such a bad singer, so I had to focus super hard on hitting notes so pronunciations fell to the background. Yeah, I guess it's not a problem I've run into. But yeah, I can see how that could happen. Yeah, I wanted to get into it until a random conversation. I asked a friend, how do you know if something is on key? And I learned apparently you should just be able to tell. Well, I mean, I guess it's more something that comes with experience. Like, this is one thing that I think is, like, not always as intuitive as people would think, but, like, I don't know. I guess actual tone deafness does exist, but it's not... Apparently it's, like, way less common than you'd think. It wiggle different when it's off-key. Yeah, when it's on-key, you go, yay! When it's off-key, you go, It's a music theory thing. Key depends on culture. That's also true. A lot of stuff is very, like, tied to the style of and time and place in which the music is being composed. Those are plosives. Oh yeah, no, sibilance is the s. Yeah, I concur pitch perfect is rare, you just learn the more you do it. Yeah. But I think tone deafness, I think a lot of people use the word tone deaf when they just mean like bad at music. Because it's very weird. It's one of those things where like, I remember being in high school and telling people like, hey, come join choir. And they'll be like, nah, I don't sing. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then that same person would be like, anyway, I think I'm gonna join band. And it's like, you don't play an instrument. And they're like, yeah, I'll learn to play like the saxophone or something. And it's like, I don't know why. I think a lot of people seem to think that like singing is like something that's like very like, either you can do it or you can't. But like, that's not really how it works. You still have to train your voice. Like, it's like any other skill, right? It's like playing an instrument. Like, anybody can sit down at a piano and press the keys and they're gonna make a sound. But like, to actually learn like the technique and how to do it in a way that will, you know, produce the sounds you want to produce, like, you still gotta sit down and learn that, right? Yeah. Because you can't see what you're doing with the vocal cords. I guess, but the difference is you can feel it, though. Like, that's something you can't really do with an instrument as much. Because, like, I feel like a lot of vocal technique... like, people will say, like, oh, if something feels bad, stop doing it. But, like, many times what feels bad also sounds bad, in my experience. Like, if you're straining your voice, you're also going to sound like you're straining your voice. There is a resistance, yes, to a certain degree. And there's also, like, a matter of, like, expanding your range. Like, I remember when I was in high school early on, at one point, I asked to be moved to the alto section because I was having trouble with one note in one of the songs we were doing. And the teachers were like, no. And then later on, I was able to hit that note. Yeah. I went from being told to shut up to being praised for my voice. I still think everyone is lying. Yeah, it's like, these are things you can learn. It's learnable. Yeah. Speaking as a brass player, euphonium. Ah, for feeling. Oh, for instruments, I see. Yeah. You play piano bad is easier than you sound like a dying cat with your innate voice. I mean, yes, but that's also, I think, also people ascribing the value and the sound of a voice to someone's innate quality, right? Because, like, if you have, well, okay, having a quote-unquote nice voice is, like, entirely subjective, right? But even within that, like, having a nice voice is, like, you need more than that to be good at singing, right? Like, it's a good start, but I feel like saying that you can be a good singer only if you have a nice voice is like saying like, oh, someone is going to be good at basketball because they're tall, right? Like, it might give you a bit of an advantage, but like, you know, you can't go and join the NBA just because you're tall, right? There's other skills involved there too, right? Yeah, good voice and good at singing are completely different. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good voice and good at singing are completely different. I think also too, like I said, a lot of this is subjective. Like, I've seen people argue about, like, you know, within like VTubers, like what popular VTubers have like the best vocal technique and like who is the best singer, and like these discussions do not interest me at all. Because like, to me, I'm like, okay, the best singer is always going to be your Oshi. And that is because they are your Oshi, right? Like, there are people who are like, my Oshi is the best singer, and I listen to their Oshi, and I'm like, they're fine, I guess, but like, nothing that sticks out to me. But then again, the same thing has happened the other way around, where there's people I really like to listen to, but then other people are like, didn't care for that. So like, again, these kinds of things are subjective. You can't account for taste. All right, good job, Denny. I got second. I don't think I've won tonight, but I got second, and that's okay. And thank you, Buick and Mixpage. Thank you for playing. I think we'll do just one more. We'll do just one more. I think. I'm looking at the time. It's 10:56, and I still have other things I need to do tonight. And I'm going So yeah, I think we'll just do one more. We'll do one more. Yeah. But Eggy's my Oshi, and she sings good. Thank you. I don't think that makes me the best VTuber singer, though. Yeah. Herb, next question. She's not my Oshi. Emily is an extremely close second, and I'm assuming she's not your Oshi either. I mean, yeah, but keep in mind, even both of them will have their weaknesses. Like, you know, Herb is very powerful, but, you know, power does not necessarily... More power does not better singing make in every situation, right? So she is very skilled, she's very good. I like listening to her karaoke because I feel it's like the musical equivalent of watching somebody just like throw a super heavy like dumbbell into the air, like watching someone like weightlift. Like it's the musical equivalent of that. Just like watching somebody like throw something heavy into the air and catch it as if it was like weighs nothing. But, you know, you need a variety of voices in the world, right? Yeah. Thanks for game. Sorry I got talking too much and failed. That's okay. I also did too. Yeah. I've also seen a lot of people that show up have great timbre, and then they get technique on basic music stuff like rhythm and such. I think for me, I've actually found that listening to something that is off time is more grating for me than something that is off key. Which is especially frustrating as somebody who uses wireless headphones. Because I become prone to making that mistake. But I don't know why. Yeah, like somehow getting the pitches wrong to me does not feel as bad as getting the timing wrong. I don't know why. Gotta be up early tomorrow because my landlord wants work done on the building and I need to be in my living room for like 2 hours. I have to like wake up super early to open the door. I have to go to work at my job. But at least after tomorrow, because it's a short week, I will be halfway done the week. Yippee! The other way about Otto, her voice feels like a punch in the face sometimes. Yeah! I feel like Otto has like, I guess like a surprising amount of range though. Because I've definitely heard her do like softer songs, and I didn't even realize it was Otto until I like looked up who the vocalist for the song was. But yeah. Yeah, Herb, Emily, Cotton have very strong voices and belts. Mint is better as absolutely velvety texture. Ooh, is SO87. So... Is this a nickname for somebody that I'm not in the loop on? SO87. So... Am I missing something? Am I out of the loop? I beat myself up for missing her in concert last year. I did get to see the Otto concert last year, though. So 87 is a name I found in the automatic shuffle in Spotify listening to VTubers. No clue who she is. Understandable. Might be a V-singer, not just like a VTuber. Or might be like an Utaite. Because they often get thrown into like the same playlists. VTubing feels like that Kids' Choice Award cutaway in Family Guy. Like, man, every year I recognize less and less names. Yeah, sometimes a little. But I think it's also that, like, I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. It just means that it's grown enough that, like, not everybody's in the same circles, right? Because sometimes it's surprising who I have and haven't heard of. Like, I feel like everyone's had, like, I feel like everyone's had a time where, like, you hear about some situation, like some drama, and it involves a bunch of people you've never heard of, but apparently they all have, like, thousands of viewers on every stream, and I'm like, I don't know who this is. Look, I didn't know who Fillion was until, like, she already had hit 1 million subscribers. I had no idea. Like, people are like, oh, this is the most subscribed to VTuber in the world, and I'm like, or, like, the most viewed? She had hit some big number, and I'm like, I've never heard of this person. I had not heard of her until she was already hitting huge numbers. And yeah, it's just because it's like, yeah, she's not really in, or she wasn't really in the circles that I was watching. Like, it was like a whole other thing that had just developed completely in, like, slightly out of my range of sight. Poob situation is crazy. That's how it feels sometimes, yeah. SO87 is better known for making tracks and singing them. Ah, interesting. We'll have to look up after. Looked up. SO87 Sono Ota is a V-singer with music collabs with a lot of groups. Hololive, Miku, others. Neat. Ah, okay. V-singer. I need to go eat. Thanks for the stream and matches. Thank you for coming and playing. We just need one more person. We need one more person for our last one. Just one more. Yeah. Let's work with Oli, Mio, oh, Miori, like, not Okami Mio. Okay. Shiki, a bunch of phase. Okay, so they do things in English as well as in Japanese? Because, like, I feel like that's like another angle that I also feel like I'm missing out, where I'm like, Japanese V-singers, I feel like there's a lot of V-singer stuff that just, like, never really escapes Japan. And I feel like I should know more about that, but I don't. Because I feel like my V-singer knowledge, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to think of, like, V-singer, like, people who, like, are marketed as V-singers and not just, like, VTubers who happen to make music. And, like, I feel like I can name, like, 2, maybe 3. And who also aren't, like, utaites. Like, you know, like, we're not gonna count, like, Ado as, like, a V-singer, right? Or, like, we're not gonna count Mafu Mafu, right? Because, like, I'm trying to think of, like, who can I name? Like, Calf? Half counts. Nagaseyuka? I know of her as well. And there's gotta be a third one. Oh, I guess Himehina. Himehina. I think they're V-singers, right? They're not, like, streamers. Because that's the thing. Like, I guess you could argue, like, I feel like you could argue Suisei. You could argue, like, Suisei and Azuki. But, like, I feel like just because of how things work in Hololive, I feel like they are VTubers who make music as opposed to, like... Well, I guess, I mean, as they were technically V-singers originally, right? FaZe Lumi. I mean, yeah, but I feel like even FaZe Lumi is also more like VTuber who makes music. Even Mori, I feel, falls into that category too. Also a singer named Reichu, who I honestly mistook for Lumi's singing voice at first. Oh yeah, I'm aware of her too. And I know she also streams. But I feel like she was around... She was a Utaite before VTubing, if I'm not wrong, right? Like, she was one of the people who kind of moved into it. Again, the million roads to becoming a VTuber, I think that was the one that she was from. Suisei isn't a streamer? I mean, Yeah, maybe not Suisse. Maybe Suisse and Azuki count more as V-singers who stream as opposed to, like, VTubers who sing. But, like, someone like Marine, right? Like, Marine has a lot of music, but, like, I would still qualify her as VTuber who sings and not, like, V-singer who streams. Right? Or... even someone like Herb, who despite everything about her, I don't think, I don't think she has an original song yet. Like, she is very much a VTuber who sings. Yeah. A lot of VTubing came from that direction, honestly. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an easy way to move in. I just realized the eggplant has been, like, standing so far away from me from... because I think Bodega was on the last time I had this screen. So I think I'm realizing the eggplant has been, like, just not standing too close to me. Yeah, as we say, stream more or less since the management shift around her own company. I don't keep up with her at all, but curious how the business innovation is going. I mean, I think the other thing too, I guess if you're like a singer and streamer, is that like streaming is it's something that's very time consuming, right? So I could see, like, you know, if you are streaming, you are inherently not doing something else, and I could see as like you get busier, like. You even see that with, like, people who stream as their main thing, right? Like, as you get busier, then, like, streaming kind of falls to the bottom of the priority list, I would imagine, right? Because, like, I could see if you're somebody who's, like, you know, you're streaming, but you're also doing, like, music and commercials and, like, maybe doing some kind of features in, like, games or voice acting of some kind. Like, I feel like the streaming would pretty quickly fall to the bottom of the priority list just because it is something that, like, technically you can do at any time, but it is something that's very, like, time consuming. Ah, I think I got a raid while I was busy yapping. Hello, Xiao Yao. Good evening. Xiao raid. Hello, hello. Unfortunately, this is the last game of Mahjong, but thank you for coming. Thank you for raiding. I am NiceEggy. I am nice and I'm an Eggy, and right now I do in fact stream things other than Mahjong Soul, but this is probably the game that I stream the most frequently. Yeah. I love Mahjong Soul streamers. I'm not a Mahjong Soul streamer. I promise I do other things too. I have other hobbies and interests. I promise. I mean, I wouldn't fault anybody if they thought I was a Mahjong Soul streamer, to be fair. Because, like, I do stream it every Monday, which is more than I stream any other game, I think. You still on Deltarune? I've been avoiding it to not be spoiled. Yes. Again, I realize I think I have too many things going now. Because what do I need to do within the next, like... Because what do I have going right now? Mahjong Monday. That's goes without saying. I have Deltarune going. I need to get those last 5 moons for Super Mario Odyssey because I have to finish up what people donated to get for the charity stream. So that's gonna have to happen. I still have that miniature model. The miniature model I was building, that's just like sitting on my table because I still need to get back to that. I'd like to see Eggy's karaoke. I would also like to see Eggy's karaoke. I want to plan one soon. I'm hoping maybe this Friday, if I can, since I have the time off. I'm thinking this Friday, maybe? And it would be karaoke, potentially with an announcement if I can get my life together before that point. The announcement about the possibility of an announcement. But it's not set in stone yet. And it's entirely my own fault that it's not set in stone yet. I'm the one who has to set it in stone, but yeah. Jeez, girl, your day job is your side gig. Well, here's the thing, is that, like, my job at work, I do my job and then I go home and then my job doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter until I go back the next morning, right? Like, I will think about streaming when I am at work. But once I leave work, I don't need to think about work anymore, right? Honestly, I really should be taking advantage of my lunch break a lot more. Because I feel like I've been like, I have 1 hour for lunch, but I feel like lately, with the lunches I've been packing, I tend to finish eating like, after maybe like half an hour. And then I have like half an hour left, and I'm like, I should probably do something other than like scroll Twitter. I don't know. Today I did shopping. Because there's some things I wanted to buy, and I kept... It's one of those things where I was like, oh, I really need to buy myself this. I need to get this. Like, especially for things for EGGY. I'm like, oh, I need to buy this. I need to order this to make sure it's here on time. And I'm like, I need to do that on time. And then I forget. But then today at lunch break, I did shopping. I'm like, I should do something like this. I should do things I've been meaning to do on my lunch more often. I bought a longer petticoat for some of my longer Lolita dresses. Because I have one thing I want to bring to EGGY, but I'm also worried. I'm like, I don't know how hot it is. Like, I guess it's inside of an air-conditioned building. But, like, I'm also just like, I don't know. Is this gonna be too hot? Am I gonna, like, die of heat stroke, but at least have hype vibes and aura while I do it? Because, like, I bought the longer petticoat so I could wear it with my longer dress. But then I'm like, the longer dress also has long sleeves, so I'm like, maybe that's not good. A friend of mine got that Lolita dress with the deer on it and has been on my mind ever since. Like the famous one, like, what was it? Milky-chan the Fawn, I think? That one? But yes, I think I never finished greeting the raid. Xiao Yao, thank you for the raid. Please go rest if you would like to. If you need it. It is allowed. But yeah, 5 moons will take like 10 minutes. Yeah, I guess you guys are gonna get like a few bonus moons. No, not that one. A different one? I'm trying to think. There's another one? I mean, I know there are Lolita dresses with deer on them, but I was just like, yeah, Milky-chan the Fawn, that one. That's like, I feel like that's like the really well-known one. But yeah, I'm like, what can I do during lunch that would be helpful? This one. What is this one? What am I looking at? Ah, oh, this is Scary Deer. Do you know, by any chance, you know what brand it is? I have guesses, but I'm worried they might be wrong. I forget, sorry. Yeah. It's an interesting dress. It's like the Scary Deer dress. Gothic deer dress. It's like, I think the brand I think it is, it's giving Violet Fane vibes. But I don't know for sure. Oh, okay, hold on. Somebody in the Reddit thread posted. It's Elk in the Forest by Infanta. Oh, okay, yeah, that I guess that also checks out. Yeah, I guess it looks more early Violet Fane, though, because I feel like the more recent stuff is less like, their early stuff was more gothic, but I feel like their more recent stuff... I don't know. Violet Fane is a brand, it's a Lolita brand from Europe, and I think early on they did a lot more, like, again, like, I think their first few releases that they became known for, there was, like, one that was, like, a coffin print, and I think there was another one that was, oh, what was the other one they were known for before? Oh yeah, the like doll, it was like Doll Hospital, but like in a scary way. Like it was like a like body parts of dolls kind of print. And then they came out with one called Otome Nostalgia, which I have, and that one was like a very like retro shoujo manga themed one, and it was very popular. I have one. I kind of want to see if I can sell it or trade it with somebody if I ever find somebody who has like one in a bigger size, because I think I bought an extra small at the time and it like doesn't fit that great on me anymore. But also it was like the extra small was shorter than the small. So I don't know. Maybe if I ever find somebody who has the same one but in like a bigger size. Because I do like the print. It's just that the dress doesn't fit me that well right now. My friend said I finally got the monies. What was it like when you get paid bi-weekly? Week 1, Lolita dress. Week 2, ice soup. Actually, I'm pretty sure, the first time I saw that meme, I'm pretty sure the dress that was in the picture was specifically a very expensive Lolita dress. Like, one that was known for being expensive for the longest time. So, like, that's how I knew they were a real one. Like, if I remember correctly, I mean, maybe it was an alternate version, like, or like somebody else's edit of it, but I remember the first time I saw the like Lolita dress then ice soup meme. I think the dress in the picture was I think it was Iron Gate by Moi-même Moitié, which is a dress that became very expensive and very sought after for many years because they just didn't do a re-release of it, despite the fact that it was very popular. The rumor is that they lost the image file. Because it was like a print on a dress, right? The rumor was that they like lost the image file, like they just like, I guess the PNG, someone accidentally deleted it or something. Because it didn't get a release. I think the original one was released like sometime in early to mid 2000s, I think. Or maybe it was later in the 2000s. I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 2006. But then it didn't get a re-release until like 2021, I think. Like much later. So yeah, obviously in the meantime it became like a very expensive piece. But I don't know, the same thing has happened to a lot of other dresses. But I don't know, I feel like maybe it's still kind of an expensive piece because the re-release was not... Like, the re-release was the same print, but it was made with a different material and had like a slightly different cut and measurements to it, which people didn't like as much. So yeah, I guess maybe if people still have like the original run, then like that's probably still very sought after. Probably not as much as before though. Because like it's also definitely happened that like the great honey cake saga of, was it 2018 or 2019? There was one dress that was a honey cake from Angelic Pretty that for some reason everyone got really obsessed with all of a sudden one day. And people were selling theirs and like the price of it secondhand just absolutely skyrocketed. And then Angelic Pretty proceeded to announce that they were doing a re-release of it. and then like the prices of it just like dropped. I think the same thing happened with Cat's Tea Party too, where all of a sudden everyone was like, I need this print more than anything in the world, despite the fact that it has already existed for a few years and I just never thought about it until now. I don't think it happens as much nowadays though. But maybe I'm out of the loop. Maybe it is happening all the time. But like, I don't know. I'm trying to remember the last time there was like a big like, you know, like everyone is suddenly wearing this dress. I have no idea what any of this is. I'm alienating the fan base. I'm trying to remember, yeah, like the last time there was like a big release where it's like all of a sudden every single person on Earth is just wearing this dress. I'm trying to remember if the last time that happened, I feel like it just hasn't happened in a while. Yeah, or what else was there? You know what maybe I still want now? Now that I don't live with my parents. Because I remember that was something when I lived with my parents, is my parents did not really want me wearing things with crosses on them. Which kind of rules out a lot of gothic Lolita prints. But there was one dress, you can probably search it up. It was called Nameless Poem. It was by a brand, it was a Chinese brand actually, called, I think it was Istamori. You have definitely seen this dress before. I can name at least like 3 or 4, maybe not 3, but like I can name a few different characters who have worn something that was definitely based off of Nameless Poem. Like, it's like a very simple design, but it was like everywhere. Like everyone had one of these in like 2018. Except for me, because I still live with my parents. I didn't think, like the lace has crosses on it because it's like a gothic piece. I don't know, I kind of want one now. I'm about 5 years late for this, but I do kind of, I do kind of want Nameless Poem. Devastated. Devastated. Unfortunate. But thank you for playing. Thank you for playing. Thank you, congratulations Meklam. And thank you Nanora and Baraclaw. Thank you for playing on this nice and good Mahjong Monday. You know what, Christian households should encourage crosses, actually. I mean, yeah, but it depends on the context. Depends on the context. Also, my parents they were like Christian, but not Catholic, so that like also throws a wrench into something or another. But, yeah. Thanks for the match. I hope you have a good day / week. Yes, you please do. Please do. I will try to have one as well. Will I succeed? That remains to be seen. But, yeah. Wait, Protestants do crosses? Yeah, but not to the degree that, like, Catholics do it, right? Like, I don't think, like, rosaries and stuff aren't really... It's not really a thing in... At least, yeah, Americans don't do Lutheranism. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I guess, like, American Protestantism or North American Protestantism has bigger differences than it does in Europe. And now regret bringing up religion in the last 5 minutes of stream. You know what? Good call. The point is, if anybody knows of somebody selling Nameless Poem, preferably... Did it have multiple sizes? I don't remember if it had multiple sizes. Oh no, what if I don't fit into it now? Did I miss my only chance in the days of my youth to wear Nameless Poem? I'm gonna be mad if that's the case. I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be very sad. But, in the meantime, we must raid. We must raid. Worry not, Timu will come through. No, but I want a real one! I want a real one. There's like 1 bajillion knockoffs of it, and none of them are as good. All of them are worse in some way. Let's see who's online. Let's see. Ham is on. Mikan is on. Is on. Nyanomancer's on. Atropa's on. Corpse is on. Vanilla's on. Shimada is on. Almontis is on. Oh, even more people are on. Have I ever... What is Shimada doing? Since, I don't know, I just thought this since somebody had mentioned her earlier. Screw it, Raid Henya. I think you're biased. Let's see. Because we raided Mikan the other week. Let's see. The usual suspects aren't online. Screw it, Raid Henya. Is that just gonna be our raid message? Is that gonna be our raid message? Let's see. They just want to hear NiceEggy. You know what? Might as well. It's fine. It's fine. That's our raid message is, screw it, Raid Henya raid. Yes, everyone follow Zully's example. That's what we're doing. What is she doing? Cleaning. Cleaning game. Actually, I'm gonna have to look at what she's playing. What is she playing? This actually looks kind of fun. It's called Mold Washer. It's like this pixel art game. She's washing mold. VTubers never beating the mold allegations. Okay, let me actually set up the raid. Well, if we played that, you see, this looks like it'd be fun to stream. I would just have to find, you know, when in 1,000 years when I have finished all the other stuff that I have going. Knowing your luck, she'll say nice guy. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay. There we go. We've set that up. We already know. We know the raid message. We know what we're doing. Alright. Thanks for stream. Thank you for being here. I will be back not tomorrow. I will be back Wednesday. Because Wednesday is Canada Day, so I will be doing something Canadian. I should probably decide what that's going to be between now and then, but I will be being Canadian. And then after that will be Thursday, where I don't know what I'll do. Maybe Deltarune. And then I think, yeah, I'm going to try and do karaoke on Friday. But there are multiple steps I need to do before I get there. So, in the meantime, thank you for being here. Thank you for being nice and good. I will see you soon. And until then, au revoir. Bye-bye.